Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 63 of Scion of the Dark House, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Gothic horror podcast. Because this is Gothic horror, some things may come up to a line for some people. Things like body horror, gore, violence, talk about abuse and trauma, child endangerment, and other things. So if anything comes up to a line for you, please take a break. Your support means a lot to us, but so does your mental health. So the last time we were all together, it has been a while, you all were investigating a mysterious house that was on the outskirts of town that Arthur had sensed aberrant and undead energy from. You were also hot on the tail of something known as the Whistler that had apparently been taking people in the night. After deciding that you didn't want to go into the spooky house, Rerek fireballed the front of the house, causing it to explode, not before hearing the eerie whistle of the Whistler and watching as the pieces of the house floated in the air for a second before the house finally fell to the ground. Picking through the rubble, you found what is most likely the 7 missing people that were taken from Gravesend, various books, a sacrificial dagger, and a cauldron that had a tentacle in it that pulled Rerek into a very strange realm of undulating rock and mysterious eyes, a starry sky, and the eerie whistle. He managed to escape, and after defeating the tentacle, they buried the cauldron. They took the corpses back to Gravesend, where they managed to catch the Gravediggers Guild right before it closed and had the bodies processed. They then went to the, I forget what the name of the tavern was. The Nail and Headstone, that's what it was. I have too many taverns in this campaign. They went back to the Nail and Headstone and decided to get a little bit of rest, but it seemed they had some midnight visitors. Percy had a vision or a dream of some kind of the chains of Therisdun staring at him knowingly before waking up to find a strange old woman standing over his bed with a knife, before announcing that he has been a thorn in her side for quite some time and that he was responsible for killing her husband, before brandishing the same sacrificial knife and the appearance of the Whistler, the eerie, pale, tall, lanky, creepy, noseless, mouthless creature that came from the shadows. I would like everybody to roll initiative as the Whistler has whistled and you all hear it.
No.
Alex is a 0.
Oh.
Alex is +0 initiative.
Yeah. He's not very dexterous.
But he got 11.
11 for Alex.
Percy has a 5.
8 for me.
Percy has a 5.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. That's
Rerek.
10 for Rerek.
10 for Rerek. 5 for Percy.
Arthur got an 18. And
18
Lark
for
got
Arthur.
a 21.
21. Ooh.
And I would like to remind you, I did successfully cast Hold
Yes,
Person on the lady.
You did successfully cast Hold Person. So you are concentrating on this as she stands, still gripping the knife, attempting to break out of the spell, but the Whistler is in the corner of the room. So first up is Lark. You wake
Hold
up
on.
to see...
Is this the first time we all slept in a one bedroom?
I don't think
we had
you guys
separate
No.
rooms, so
You all are in separate rooms.
You're probably just alerted by the screaming.
Oh, okay.
Yes. You just heard the whistle again, the very familiar whistle, and you went, oh shit, and woke up.
Can I, is talking a free action?
Yes, talking is a free action.
Lark just shouts into the hall, either either Percy's having a very strange threesome right now, or he's being attacked, everyone. Either way, it's so ugly I need to hurt it.
I did sort of just shriek and go, ah! And then like cast hold person.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of laying in bed under it. Like,
Wow.
I mean, what you do in your own private bed is no business of mine. Just saying.
We'll check. We'll check still.
So like Lark probably always sleeps by the window or something on some pillows and stuff. So he's just gonna like kind of look at that, shout that, kind of rise flying into the air a little bit. And I'm gonna cast some kind of magic because that's all we do in this economy. So I think that I will cast.
Oh gosh. While he's thinking, did I recover my 5th level slot after throwing that fireball?
No.
I think the highest you can recover is a 4th level right now.
Yeah.
For a short. Okay.
Yeah, once you level up, you can get your 5th level back, but alas, you cannot. Not at the moment. So both you and Alex are missing a 5th level spell slot.
Okay.
I mostly work off cantrips, so I have I think all of my slots. I'm just gonna summon undead, and I think we're gonna do Pearl this time, who is my ex-mermaid boyfriend or merman boyfriend, a ghostly merman. And let me just pull up summon undead over here.
So will he just be crawling on the ground?
No, because he's a ghost. He's gonna fly, drift.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going to. Let me see here. Should we do that? Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna actually upcast it though. Instead of using a 3rd level slot, I'm gonna use my 4th level slot on it.
Ooh.
Because that actually makes it a little bit stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So now he has multi-attack instead of just 1 attack per round. Okay, so it's a room, so I'm assuming they're not that far away.
Mm-mm.
Are the Whistler and the old woman close to each other?
No, they're kind of in opposite corners of the room, and you two are kind of in the middle.
Okay. I'm gonna have. I feel like we're gonna have Pearl show up near the Whistler. He's a hot dead merman. It happens. The most annoying of the 3 evil exes of one Lark. And so that is my action to summon him, and he'll move directly after me, or that's what we normally do. But I'm also going to quicken a spell, or a cantrip, and I'm going to throw an Eldritch Blast at it while
At the
Pearl
Whistler?
pops up next to it. Yeah, I'm going to throw an
You
Eldritch...
have disadvantage on the roll as you see its form is shifting and flickering back and forth. You don't quite know exactly where it is.
Okay, first bolt with disadvantage. Oh, Spencer, that was a nat 20 on one of them.
I'm sorry.
The other one is a 16 plus 11 for 27 to hit.
That hits.
I'll roll the other bolt too. 8 plus 11 is 19 to hit.
19? Yep, that hits.
Okay, so 2d10 plus 10 force damage. So 19 force damage from the Eldritch Blast.
All right.
And Pearl's going to take his multi-attack, which is Deathly Touch. It's
Pearl
a melee
is sadly
weapon attack.
also going to have disadvantage due to its strange, blurry form.
It's my spell attack modifier to hit, though, so he's going to get plus...
1.5 billion.
Oh, no, it's only plus 9. It was plus 10 for me. Did a 26 and an 18 hit?
26 and an 18? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So my hits still hit, but yeah, it's 10 with Wand of the War Mage, 9. So
That's what
he
it did,
only
okay.
gets plus 9. 14 plus 9 is 23.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do the second one. I'm assuming an 11 does not, though.
No, an 11 does not hit.
Okay, so 1d8 plus 3 is, so 2 plus 3 is 5, plus the spell's level is 4. So that's 9 necrotic damage.
Mm-hmm.
And the creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against my spell save DC or be frightened of the undead until the end of its next turn.
It is immune to the frightened condition.
Okay, then just 9 necrotic damage.
All right. So next up is Arthur.
So he's probably sleeping in the room next door and just
Yes.
he wakes up and I'm
I will say he has enough movement to get to the door and be in the door and see both the Whistler and the strange old woman.
I mean, it's Arthur, so I feel like he's gonna shoot the undead first.
Oh, it's not an undead, but it is an aberration. So
okay.
he
Shoot
still
the
gets his
freaky
bonuses.
thing.
Yes.
Okay. And what is this? Oh, I need to read his sheet better. Our proficiency bonus went up since he sent this sheet, so
Yes, it did.
I feel like God damn it, Yofi. Why is your sheet so freaking hard to read? Okay, so he attacks with disadvantage still, right?
Yep.
That's a 26 on it of bow attack. That hits. Ooh, and I think he will get sneak attack damage because my undead's near that thing.
Yes.
And if so
Which would mean that he'd just get a regular roll.
Oh.
But is it not the displacement effect which ends after a successful hit?
No, it is not.
Oh, it's just a better version of it.
Okay, so first hit is 1d8 plus, or no, it's Dragon Wing. 1d8 plus 7 plus a d6 plus another d6. 1d8
He uses all the dice.
plus 7 plus. Do you want me? Do I need to separate the fire? Well, it's all the same damage, I think, right? Yeah, it's all fire damage. I don't know if that matters.
Nope. It is
Okay.
not resistant or immune to fire.
Oh wait, can I use his bonus action to Hunter's Mark that thing too?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll
I'm gonna be a little bit more lenient with Arthur's stuff because
yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, so 10, 15 plus 7 is what? 22? 22 fire damage on the first hit with the Dragon Wing bow. And he has multi-attack at this level.
Mm-hmm.
Does a 16 hit?
Yes, it does.
So that's only sneak attack's gone. Hunter's Mark is still up, but okay. So that's going to be 1d8 plus 7 plus 2d6. 7, 9, 16 fire damage on the second hit.
Oof.
And we'll have Jasmine yeet herself because she has actually more movement than any of us.
Yes.
So she'll get. Okay, so yeah, she'll use her. We're gonna keep the coordinate. We're not gonna coordinate the attack so she gets more than one attack because this thing tries moving. I want her to have her reaction, I think. But she's gonna run up and try to pounce. Can she pounce? Does she have 20 feet of straight movement to hit the thing?
She does not have 20 feet of 20 feet of straight.
Okay.
She has to go around corners.
Okay, yeah, then that's fine. Oh, but she does get +4 to damage rolls against undead and aberrations because of favorite enemy. Weird. Okay.
Interesting.
I'm reading his sheet. I'm reading his sheet. I don't know. Okay. She's gonna bite. She's gonna nibble. Oh, she does it with disadvantage.
Yes.
I'm assuming a 9 will, or no, a 10 will not hit.
No, a 10 will not hit. The form is too blurry, and she snaps at an after image of something and doesn't connect.
That's it from this corner of the world.
All right. So next up is Alex.
All right, let's figure this shit out.
And then Rerek, you're after Alex.
Mhm.
At least it's convenient that the characters that we're subbing for are also right next to our own characters in the fight.
Very true.
Yeah. Oh shit, I lost it. What is phantasmal? What is this?
Oh, Phantasmal Killer?
Yeah.
It's an illusion spell.
Okay. Sounds like it's damaging, but I guess it's not.
It is.
It is.
So what the fuck does it do?
You can damage people with illusions in D&D.
Yeah.
He has so much spells up in here, but I have no idea which ones are prepared. I'll just pick one and go.
Yeah.
Okay, he has one that's called Banishment.
Oh, Banishment.
I tried it. What does it do? You attempt to send one creature that you can see within range to another plane of existence. And it must succeed in charisma saving throw. Or be banished. If the target is native to the plane of existence you're on, you banish the target to a harmless demi-plane. While there, the target is incapacitated. The target remains there until the spell ends. Should I read the whole thing?
And you can just cast it.
Let's cast the shit. Okay.
Charisma save.
Yeah.
Natural 20 plus 8.
Wow. Alex, you suck.
Plus 8. That thing's as charismatic as I am.
It's very ugly.
But he's not gonna move forward. I guess he's just gonna stand there. What else can he do? Actions. There's nothing here.
I mean, wizards don't have a lot of bonus action things they can do.
Yeah,
I mean,
sadly.
That's true. Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and throw in my favorite spell at it.
Please don't fireball us in the middle of an inn when
That's
we're all
not my
wandering.
favorite spell. It's magic missile.
Yes.
4th level, and I'm gonna go at it with all of them towards it. So that's how many is that? 7?
Are you
6.
casting it at 4th level?
4th level. Yeah.
So it'd be 3 second.
6.
So 3 second, 3rd, 4th. Yeah, it would be 6. So 64 plus 6, please.
64 plus 6.
Yes.
3. 2. 2. 4. 2. 3.
And then minus 6.
It's a minus 6. Okay. Dang the math.
Well, because it's plus what
3
D4 plus 1.
3 plus 8. 11 plus 2. 13 plus.
I already subtracted it.
So what is it?
I don't remember. I was doing it individually. I did it already. It's fine.
Okay.
We're on top of things tonight. Is there anything else that you would like to do?
Can I try to hit it with my stick?
Sadly, you cannot. That would be an action.
Okay. We're good. That's it.
All right. So now it is the Whistler's turn. And it's going to it's actually going to vanish back into the shadow and reappear behind Arthur, and it's going to make 3 swipes at him.
And I'm assuming we don't get reactions on that.
Because it was a teleport? No.
Okay.
First one is a natural 20.
No, it's
Can
not.
I? Oh, okay. You do.
All right. All right. And it's just a regular 20. And then we have 17, 18, a 25 to hit. And last but not least, this one might not hit. 15.
15 doesn't beat his armor class, but the first 2 sure do.
Yes.
Let me roll my portents too. I don't think I rolled it. Well, that was a 20. And a
Whoops.
7. Yay. I have a bad one and a really good one.
So the first one is 19 psychic damage. And the second one is 18 psychic damage.
18 puts him down there, and then 18 puts him down. 40 minus 18 is 22. That
As you
was
watch, eerily, its hand seems to pass through him, not even connecting with his physical form, just passing through him as if it weren't solid at all. Next up is the creepy old woman who has to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell.
Oh, geez.
Your hold person.
Yeah, make sure. Yeah, wisdom.
She rolled a natural 1, so she is still
Hell yeah.
frozen. And now it is your turn, Percy.
Okay, I'm gonna just sort of like get up and skirt around her out of my bed, and try to. We'll get to her later, and I'll just sort of shimmy on up a bit closer, and then I'll use bonus action spiritual weapon, and I'm gonna
Ooh.
upcast it. Let me make sure I know. I think I have to upcast it to 4th level for it to actually get any benefits.
Oh, right, because it's 2 levels to up the die.
Yes, so I'm gonna cast spiritual weapon at 4th level. So my little scythe blinks into existence, and I'm gonna make an attack at disadvantage, I believe,
Yep.
against it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Does an 18 hit?
An 18 does hit.
Oh boy. And then we're gonna do okay, so it's 8 plus 6, 14 damage. I think it's just I don't see a damage type on here. I don't know what time
It's I think it's force damage.
You're right, it is force damage. Okay, so 18 force or 14 force damage. And then that's my bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
And as my main action, I'm going to channel divinity path to the grave this thing.
Ooh,
So whatever attack hits it next, it will have vulnerability to.
gotcha. So we are going back up to the top with Lark.
So I'm gonna. So the old woman's still paralyzed, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm gonna send my first round of Eldritch Blasts towards her because they're added. I don't know if I have a good line of sight on. Well, I mean, I can move through the room and try to see through the doorway, right?
You're in the same room as her, and Percy moved out of the way, so you do have clear line of sight directly to her. She's basically on the other side of the bed.
I was just wondering if I wanted to attack the Whistler too. If I need to move to see that.
Right. Yes, you would need to move to see the Whistler.
Yeah. Free action is part of my turn because the spell even says it's no action cost. I'm just gonna be like, Pearl, follow it, you useless lump, to my ex-merman ghost boyfriend. And I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast the old broad because she's paralyzed. I have advantage.
Yes, you do.
14 plus 10 is 24.
That hits.
And second bolt, 17 plus 10 is 27.
Mm-hmm.
18 force damage to her.
All right.
And I think I used 2 sorcery points for that. I have 5 left. I feel like I will. Yeah. Can I fly around so I have a line of sight on the Whistler?
Yes, you may.
And yeah, I'm gonna Eldritch Blast it as well. So that leaves me 3 sorcery points left at the end of turn. With disadvantage, does an 18 hit?
18 hits.
Okay, second bolt. Wait. Oh, that's another nat 20. God damn. 24.
24 hits.
I'm wasting my nat 20s on a thing that I have disadvantage on. I hate it. 2d8 or 2d, yeah. 2d10 plus 10. Nope. There's that one.
Oh, and this all gets doubled because of path to the grave.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Do both hits of Eldritch Blast or just the first one? Because they are technically 2 separate attack rolls.
What does it say?
I want to
think
say
it is the
probably
next
just
attack.
the first. Let me
Yeah.
double check. You can keep going. It's probably just the first.
I think it is just the first. I think it is by attack roll.
Okay, so if it's the first attack roll, that's going to be 7 doubled to 14 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one is 10 damage.
All right.
And then Pearl he has 40 feet of movement and he can move through objects and other creatures because he's a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just, I mean, it's a hotel, an inn. I don't think it's that far of a distance for him to just swim through the wall and start.
It is literally in the hallway, so you can just boop right through the wall.
Yeah, so he's going to swing on it with his multi-attack as well. Disadvantage. Nat 1 and a 3. Gross. So I don't think a 10's going to hit.
Nope.
Second attack.
2 ghostly forms move through each other, not quite touching.
12 on the second swing.
Still does not connect as he swings his arm again, passing through the after images of this creature as it flickers back and forth. Sadly, nothing hits. And next up is Arthur, who is directly next to it.
Yeah. He has his bow out, but he's just gonna. He has rogue levels, right?
Yes.
So he can use cunning action to disengage.
I believe so. I believe that is a 3rd level thing.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he's gonna use cunning action to disengage and run across to the other side of the room, so it doesn't get an opportunity attack on him
Mm-hmm.
for shooting this dragon wing bow of flaming wrath twice. We're gonna switch these horrible d20s that just gave my ghost boyfriend a bad rolls, bad juju. First one. 16. Does 16 hit?
Yes, 16 hits. This thing continues whistling in confusion as you all seem to be able to hit it quite fine, despite the fact it is phasing in and out of reality repeatedly.
Okay, so a d8 plus a d6 just off the bow itself, plus a d6 off of sneak attack, plus a d6 off of hunter's mark.
And also the bonus is because it's an aberration, if there is a bonus.
Oh shit, is he at damage bonuses against aberrations?
I think so.
God damn it, Arthur. Oh, +4 bonus to damage rolls with weapon attacks against the chosen type. Cool. Okay, so I was doing the math wrong. That thing actually took 8 more damage last round. It's fine.
I will be lenient and subtract that 8 points of damage.
Thanks, Spencer. I don't know this character sheet that well. I don't look at it.
And that's why I'm being lenient.
11. So 11 plus 7 is 18, plus another 4 is 22 damage on the first bow attack this turn.
Ooh, this thing whistles as it rears back, the arrow slamming directly into its chest underneath its collarbone.
Is it still up?
It is still up.
Oh, he's going to shoot again. Dirty 20 to hit.
Oh, that definitely hits.
All the same dice, except the sneak attack dice falls off. You only use that once per turn. Oh, same numbers. Well, no. Oh, better numbers, because last time I had 2 1s. 9, 11, plus 7 is 18, plus 4 is 22 damage on that one. And from rolling 2 1s to rolling 1 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
As you fire into this thing, it once again reels and gives its eerie whistle as it looks incredibly hurt. It looks like it is hanging on for dear life. Its form shimmers and shifts more violently. You almost hear this as it continues almost dissipating.
Okay.
So next up is Alex.
Oh, he still has Jasmine's attack.
Jasmine, right.
Yeah. I kind of want to send her at the old lady.
You can do that.
I don't know in character why Arthur would be like, go beat up the old woman with the knife. But I mean, she's spooky too. Plus that thing looks like the others could finish it off. So Jasmine's gonna run at this woman and attack her, which she does with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But because she's paralyzed, I think it's an automatic critical hit.
Yeah,
if
I
it's
think
within
it
5 feet
is.
of her.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she is gonna, Jazz is going to, what's she gonna do here? Yeah, she's just gonna bite this woman. So it's gonna be 1d4, no, yeah, 1d6 plus 6. Oh, literally a 1. So 7 plus 6 for the crit is 13 damage.
All right. Yeah, this woman is starting to look pretty hurt as she's still struggling against this spell, trying to push through to do anything as this panther comes up and begins to maul her. So now we're moving on to Alex. What would Alex like to do?
I want to try and, like, while she's paralyzed, do Phantasmal Killer on her.
Ooh.
What do I do with this?
Question. Does it say that if a creature cannot be frightened, that the spell doesn't work? I'm going to be a little bit more lenient this session because you guys are playing character sheets you aren't familiar with. So
Oh, well, the lady cannot be frightened.
let's just say I'm asking in general.
Doesn't say. Target must make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah,
I
it's not
do
super
feel like
clear.
yeah, it doesn't say anything
Oh.
about anybody.
It's just psychic damage.
It's just psychic damage. It doesn't like fear.
Oh, on a failed save, the
Well-
target becomes frightened for the duration.
Yeah, so it seems like the psychic damage is tied to the frightened condition, but it doesn't like explicitly say that.
Because I know like there's some spells that it's like if this creature is immune to the charm effect, then the spell just doesn't work, even though it's not a charm effect.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I was asking.
I feel like it should have disadvantage, but I don't know how that's gonna.
I mean, my interpretation is that it needs the target to be frightened in order for it to work.
Yeah,
But-
so if you were
Okay.
to cast the spell would fail.
To her,
Yeah, on her. Both of these things are immune to the frightened condition.
most of his attacks are like psychic.
It's because he's an illusionist. Doesn't he has magic missile though, right?
He does. Let's use that. Let's
You can just
all
be a magic-
missile this bitch. I want to use. He still has like 2 4th level slots, so let me use another one of those.
All right. Fire them off.
Hold on 1 second.
So it'd be 6d4 plus 6.
I'm so sick of like rolling my shit, so I'm gonna use a digital.
Fair enough. I do not
Okay,
blame you.
11th level 4 magic missile. Oh. Wait, hold on. Oh my god, this thing. What is going on? Okay, even this thing is not working. Let's just do that manually then. I also do a 4th level, which makes it 6 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And is it still -6?
No, plus 6. And yes.
2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 4.
And then -6. Yeah, this woman seems to be holding on to dear life as she is absolutely pummeled with these bolts of energy, and she still cannot seem to break out of this spell. So next up is you, Rerek.
Okay.
Wait, I might have been running that wrong. Does hold person, do they make a saving throw after they take damage, don't they?
Oh, this
No.
lady.
No, they don't?
Nope, just at the end of the turns.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, then. I have been running it correctly then. All right.
Oh,
So, Rerek, it is your turn. Both these things look like they are holding on for dear life.
Percy's gonna show.
oh,
Maybe we
okay.
don't kill her. She seems like she was saying things before, like I killed her husband or something.
Okay.
I don't know what that's about.
I feel like I have an idea who this lady is, but hold on. Let's do a I want to do something different this time. 1 second. We can't touch the whisper guy, right?
You can. It's
You
just
just
a
have-
disadvantage.
I kind of want to change him into something.
You can try to polymorph him.
Yeah. Just for fun. But no, let's I'm gonna just throw a thunder wave at it.
All right. So I have to make a con save.
I'm gonna do 4th level, and the con save.
Oh,
will have to
Jesus. This thing
be-
is holding on to dear life. You don't need to do that.
No, I'm tired. I'm like, I was woken
Okay.
up in the middle
It's
of sleep.
RP.
15 for con save.
14 plus 2, that's 16, but it takes half damage. It literally has 2 hit points. It dies.
Okay.
You clap your hands together, and with a wave of thunder, you just blast this thing. It stops vibrating. The after images all pull together into a single thing as it goes flying like a rag doll, slams into the wall, and falls down the steps, completely and utterly dead.
Then I go, you're welcome.
So now there's just the creepy old woman,
We need her to fall asleep or pass out or something.
who it looks
Well-
like it's her turn. So she's going to make a saving throw against your hold person. Let's see.
She's got to beat a
Um,
17.
Nope, she got a 12. She's still holding on against the spell, but she's also bleeding profusely.
Good.
Can we try and have her pass
Um,
out instead of die?
Well, so at this point, she's held for quite some time. For what, a minute? It's been 3 rounds. So that's been
Yeah, it's up to a
18
minute.
18 seconds. So there's still,
The majority of the spell left. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm going to say we are currently out of combat while she is trying to break out of this spell. I'll just roll one more save to see if she breaks out of it before I'm just going to say she endures the rest of the spell until you drop it or it runs out. So that is a 15.
Nope.
All right. Well, she's stuck in place, vibrating against the spell with the knife. What would you
Okay.
all like to do?
So yeah, Percy's gonna like, so should we like tie her up or something? Or
Interrogate, then exterminate.
well, just see, maybe, probably. But why don't we hear her out?
Can I try to cast can I cast Charm Person on her?
You can try.
It's either that or I could just try to suggestion maybe.
Do we want to like tie her up first or something?
Y'all can tie her up. I'm just trying to figure out.
Does
what's
anybody
going
have
on.
rope? Do I have rope? I'm not sure.
I don't have rope.
Oh yeah, Charm Person she'd have advantage on because we're fighting her.
Yep.
Suggestion though.
I don't have rope. Does Arthur have rope?
I can cut off my tail and grow it back out.
Let's not do that.
Your
Wait,
tail is
Rerek,
not
what-
long enough to tie someone up.
Nino, what were Rerek's portent
like-
rolls again?
20 and a 7.
You gave her the 7. She'd probably fail the wisdom
Probably,
saving throw
yeah.
for suggestion.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna subtle spell. I think I'm gonna subtle her. If she's paralyzed, she won't even be able to counterspell it. So
Right.
yeah, I'm just gonna suggestion and just be like, I really think you should just fill us in. Tell us who you are and why you're here and what's going on. That's 2 sentences, so
I think it still falls within the parameters.
unless she's immune to being charmed, in which
She is not. As the spell attempts to take hold of her mind. So I need to make a what saving throw?
it is a wisdom saving throw.
And are we using the 7 portent?
Please, Daddy Rerek.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So that's 7. 13.
13 does not pass. She's got to beat a 17.
All right. So I'm going to say she's still kind of struggling against the spell. And she is going to My name is Deirdre Herbert. I'm sure you've heard of my husband. He went to Darkmoor, opened up a shop there.
Oh.
You killed him. All of you. You all killed him. I managed to purchase the skull that was left over from a shop. I
Lark
spent
just
quite a
Told you
glares
that
at
was a
Archer.
bad idea.
What? I didn't want it in my pouch anymore. God damn, jeez. I
Okay.
have nothing left.
Wait, so you were aware and cool with the whole flaming skull thing and the fact that he was trying to poison large numbers of people?
The gifts of Osebus, the ever-living, are many. I have been bestowed with them as well.
And who is that?
The one beyond, he allows us to live when others die.
Oh
The
my
eater
God.
of souls, the forge of life.
How many godlike beings do we have to fight?
Oh,
Yeah.
honestly, eating souls, that's so wasteful. At least the devils turn them into imps. And we wear them like necklaces in some circles, but still, eating them?
We live longer. I've lived for 260 years. My husband, not so much.
Lark's just gonna be like, is that impressive?
Normally, yeah.
Okay.
Do you think she's gonna turn into a big flaming skull if we kill her?
Let's find out.
And I just do a dragon breath on her face.
All right. Roll. She can't save. She's still stuck in the spell.
She doesn't seem to be as good as Herbert was.
Yeah. Wait,
Roll it.
where's my breath weapon? There you go. Breath weapon, blah blah blah. 2d6 fire damage.
Can you beat a 6? She has 6 hit points.
Wait, what?
Can you do
Roll the
6
damage. Can you do 6 fire damage? The goal is to do 6 fire
Oh, okay.
damage.
Let's see. 5.
Ooh.
That was the
So-
first roll.
So you're required. You cannot do less than 6.
Right.
And 2. So it's a 7.
The flames erupt from your mouth and wreath her body as she screams. Percy, you feel the spell end as she falls to the ground.
Oh, I'm
Da, da,
flying
da.
back because if this lady turns into a flaming skull that
Yeah,
just
Percy's
bombs us
stepping
again,
back.
like before Rerek does that, Lark is like the windows open. He's just drifting out of it with keeping an eye on her.
As she falls to the ground, hits the ground like a sack of potatoes and just lays there for a moment before. And she rises as suddenly her skin begins to drip this iridescent goop. And she stands there. You can see her bones almost like an X-ray glowing green through her body.
Is that what happened last time?
There was like a tattoo, I think.
Yes, you can actually see the tattoo, the same tattoo glowing on her forehead, as well
Yeah,
as
there
other
it is.
tattoos on her
Uh-oh.
arms. And we're back in initiative, as she's no longer held by the suggestion spell, nor is she
Are
held
you kidding?
by the hold person spell.
Okay.
And
I
I,
did
Flame
the
skull
same
round 2.
I got rid of Pearl for this. Ugh.
All right.
Are we still going with the same initiative we did earlier?
Yep, we're just going to go with the same initiative, and we're going to
Okay.
say it's her turn.
Oh, fuck. That's like very good timing.
Yeah. Who is closest?
Probably
To
me, because
her.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
Rerek.
he fire breathed
Cool.
on her. Two of us were like, if she
Um,
blows up.
Ooh. So she missed. She takes the knife that she was holding and makes a swipe at you, Rerek, but she misses. But she takes another step forward and plunges the knife in as she rolls a natural 20.
Can I react to that? Or can he react to that?
Well, yes. So it is now no longer a natural 20. If there's anything else that you would like to do,
I was gonna
I'll
like
hold
try and
mine.
dodge it.
You can't.
she's already stabbed you. So it is now an unnatural 20, unless there's something else that anyone would like to do, any reactions someone might want to take.
I'm gonna keep my silvery barbs for the next time this lady nat 20s.
Yeah, I can only do it during nat 20s, so whenever it
All
isn't, you got
right.
this.
So you take 7 points of piercing damage, Rerek. As you feel this knife plunge into you, the blade is freezing cold, and you suddenly feel disassociated from your body. You feel as though you are existing within a shell of your body. Suddenly, the colors around you become a bit muted. You can't even feel your skin anymore. And you are paralyzed.
Oh my god. I was about
Aw,
to say,
dang.
dudes, I'm on a trip.
And she is going to, she raises her arms. Closing that book because I don't need it anymore. She raises her arms and she just yells, "Grant me strength, Osebus." And rising from the floor, if I can actually get to the goddamn stat block, are, oh my goodness, is a single, this time, it is a humanoid, shadowy shape that rises from the floor. And I'm going to say it's going to rise next to, it's going to rise up next to you, Percy. And it's going to immediately make an attack against you. It swipes at you with its hand.
Underestimated her, my dudes.
Unnatural 20 to hit as its hand passes through you and you feel this eerie coldness.
I'm gonna shield.
All right. Then you do not, as the hand poof, goes up against this shield that you form out of your body, pulling from that dragon mark that you have, that mark of Tharizdun on your
Yes.
side. As
And
you
that
look,
triggers my aberrant dragon mark feat as well, which means I need to expend 1 hit dice and roll it. If I roll an even number, I gain temp HP. If I roll an odd number, a random creature within 30 feet of me takes force damage equal to that number rolled. So cool, I'm gonna do that. And I roll the 6, which means I gain 6 temp HP.
all right. And as this shadow seems to attack you, you stare at it, look it in the face, and it looks familiar. A tear-stained face of a very familiar young girl that you used to work with at the hospital. The shadowy form seems to take, I forgot the name. I want to say it was like Chastity.
I think it was something like that. I wrote
It was
it
like
down.
Chastity or Charity or something. We're prepared
Felicity.
tonight, folks.
Felicity.
Felicity. Yeah, you can tell this is Felicity. But you can see her face is twisted in pain and sadness, and there are tears pouring down her face as she seems not quite in control of her body. And that is the end of Deirdre's turn, and it is now your turn, Percy.
Oh boy. So Rerek is paralyzed. Anything I can do about that? I'm gonna bonus action spiritual weapon attack on her. And that's gonna be a unnatural 20 to hit.
On who, Felicity or Deirdre?
On Deirdre.
All right. So yep, roll damage.
Cool. Plus 8 is 16 damage. And are these creatures undead or are they aberration?
Both of them are undead now.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, I am being a little more lenient. I could have just said, nope, you don't know, but
Well, I
it's a
can
wild
check.
night tonight.
I have an ability to check if things are undead.
You do. You do.
Let me
But I think you would know from before that the shadowy things that these people have been summoning are undead. You did check when you fought Gideon Herbert.
And I think
Yes.
Arthur and Jasmine went now. They're right there.
Yeah. I'm guessing they're both probably a bit too high level for me to destroy automatically. But it does affect some of my other spells. So I'll stop taking so long. I'm just gonna. Well, I mean, I have so much of my damage is necrotic.
I don't think all undead are immune to necrotic, just some of them.
Some of them. And most of them
Yeah.
are resistant, which means that you can still
You can
deal
still have
damage.
damage.
You just aren't dealing as much as you could. Also, your destroy undead ability counts as turn undead.
Yeah.
It destroys if it's under a certain challenge rating, so you could turn them if they were too powerful. All right, Percy, what you doing?
I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna cast a lesser restoration on Rerek to get rid of his paralyze.
All right.
Oh.
So you are no longer paralyzed. You feel yourself seem to fill back into the shell that is your body. The colors become more vibrant, and you can feel your skin as well as, ow, the wound. But you are back and you can move your body.
Hells yeah.
All right. So we are back up to the top with Lark.
Okay, so I'm going to use my bonus action to burn my last 3 sorcery points to summon Fifi, my Houndeville omen that looks like a giant fox made out of shadows. We got some Naruto bullshit going on, it's fine. And she's going to be attached to the woman, the Deirdre. Deirdre's the radioactive glow-in-the-dark one, right?
Yes. Who's currently
Yes.
dripping and oozing, yes.
Yep, Fifi just, I don't know if there's any shadows or space behind her.
Yeah, she is not quite in the corner of the room.
Yeah, so they're just rising out of the shadows as a direwolf-sized fox made of shadows that just opens its mouth and prepares to bite. But its turn comes after my turn. But for my action, after summoning Fifi, I'm going to cast Tasha's Mind Whip, which I haven't cast yet, but I subbed a different spell at a level up for it. But I'm going to do it at 3rd level so that I can target Deirdre and her little friend. Since I'm using it as a 3rd level spell slot, I can target 2 creatures instead of 1, as long as they're within 30 feet of each other.
Yeah, they're definitely within 30 feet of each other.
Cool. I need intelligence saving throws from both of them, but Deirdre takes hers at disadvantage because Fifi's right behind her.
Aha. So the shadow got a 12.
Does not pass.
All right. And Deirdre got a 7.
Also does not pass.
It was that disadvantage because I rolled a nat 20 for the first one.
Okay, so they're both going to take 3d6 psychic damage. They can't take reactions until their next turn. And on their next turn, they choose whether they move, take an action, or a bonus action. They only get one of the 3. So yeah, pretty much they can only do one thing on their turn. They can't do multiple things. And they can't even move.
All right.
So that's going to be 10 psychic damage to both of them.
All right. Both of them are still up, but Deirdre is looking worse for wear.
Oh, Fifi's attack. Fifi's turn is after mine.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm the podcast's trying to be a Pokemon master, and I forget that this happens. It says use the Direwolf stat block, but sub a few things. So Direwolf 5e, Direwolf. Because, yeah. It's medium, not large. It's a monstrosity, not a beast. It has some extra temp hit points. And it can move through other creatures like they were difficult terrain. And it always knows its target's location because nothing can be hidden from the hound.
Right.
No, that's fun. So Fief's... Rerek's on the other side of her, right?
Yes.
Oh, so pack tactics means that she's got advantage on her attack roll.
Ooh.
How's a 16 against this lady's AC?
Yep, that hits.
Cool. 2d6 plus 3. So that's going to be 7 piercing damage, and she needs to make a strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
She does get knocked prone because she dies.
Whoops.
She was significantly less good than Herbert.
Yep, she goes down. But you see, her tattoo begins to glow again.
Okay.
And also, because technically she's died, your Hound of Ill Omen disappears. However, the shadow does not. So next up is Arthur. We're still in initiative.
So that's just the shadow right now, technically?
Yes.
Okay, he's just gonna shoot her. Dragon Wing Bow of Flaming Wrath, go! Okay. He doesn't have disadvantage or anything, though.
Nope.
So 18 plus whatever is over 25.
Yep. And he deals 6 hit points.
Yeah, because bonus action, he's gonna move his Hunter's Mark to it. So he'll get Hunter's Mark, and he's dealing 13 plus, he's dealing 20 points of damage.
Yeah. So he fires this flaming arrow that just hits this shadow, and it disappears with an unearthly but incredibly distant scream that sounds eerily familiar to you, Percy, as you watch as Felicity just unravels before you. And then up next, Arthur still has Jasmine, correct?
Arthur has a second attack in Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything left to attack? The corpse?
The tattoo is glowing.
Oh. So yeah, he's gonna shoot the woman that Fifi downed, I guess, or shoot the our dragon wing flame bow wrath. Go. That's a 16 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Or no, wait, he already used his hunter's. He already moved his hunter's mark once this turn, so he can't do that twice. That's still a 7 plus a 6 plus a 7. 20
7 plus
damage
6.
again.
20 damage.
Yeah.
All right. The arrow hits the tattoo.
Or
And the
24
tattoo-
because undead.
Right. The tattoo shatters. Her body rises from the floor for a little bit to before she hits the ground. Still covered in slime, but no longer glowing. And she seems to be entirely dead. And you are now out of initiative.
I know.
Are we getting good at this? Is this? Was she just like another flame skull? Are we just getting better? I kind of feel like we're just getting better at this.
I honestly thought she was going to pop up there again. for a
Same
bit.
here. I mean, Herbert came up what like 5 or 6 times.
Well, I'm going to bed.
Oh, all right.
I'm still gonna talk about.
We still need
this?
to like. There's just corpses on my floor now.
Well, I
Oh.
burnt one of them.
I
Did
mean,
I
she's
burn one of them?
she-
No, I can
No.
burn
kind
one
of
of them.
gooey now.
Yeah, she is covered in slime.
Prestidigitation.
Yeah,
Just
I'll-
get
It
some
does
of the
take a
slime
few
away.
castings, but eventually you do manage to clean up
I
all of
do
this
that too.
weird ectoplasm off of her body.
Was the Whistler's body here?
The
It's
whistler
down
is
the
a whistle.
stairs. It's down the stairs.
Are there any other like hotel or tavern goers that are like seeing any of this?
I can call
You-
for room service if you're like, if you want.
I think we need to like bury them or burn them or something.
Well,
You do see people
you know that
have like started cracking open the doors and staring out, and when you make eye contact with them, they shut the door.
isn't there the Gravediggers Guild, the man you were eyeballing earlier in the day, Percy?
I think he's in bed.
With who? I
Why isn't
mean,
he
can't
in
we
yours?
just throw him out of the window? Throw him out of the window?
Fine, I'm gonna go take them to the Gravediggers Guild. If any of you have any care in your hearts for me or anyone else as a human being, I'd like some help.
I'm not human. Good night.
I mean, human beings.
Okay.
But I am supposed to watch you, so. Tut tut, come on, Percy. Lift those legs.
And Alec is like, I'll help.
Oh no, wait,
Yeah.
I've got the perfect solution. Lark uses another 3rd level spell slot to summon undead again. So that Dandelion can start dragging one of the bodies.
Thanks, Lark. Just like throwing up next to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll
Oh,
drag the bodies over to the Gravediggers Guild, I guess.
Yeah. I would say at this point, as you're dragging them towards this, the Gravediggers Guild, you see a bunch of them kind of in the street, staring in the general direction as you see other people that have all, like, there's lights on, people are leaning out the window as you're dragging the bodies down the street. And
Like, you know, for like
Can I-
a weird emaciated corpse, the Whistler is really heavy. Like,
Ooh, can I take the opportunity to, like, persuade the town to like us? I just want
What do you
Lark to be
say?
like, so Lark's just gonna be like, hear ye, the Whistler and its vile mistress are dead, thanks to the heroic intervention of a splendiferous fairy and his traveling bumpkin minions. I mean friends.
Make me a persuasion check.
I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'm good at these.
yeah.
That's gonna be a, what are my modifiers?
Like plus a
Persuasion
billion.
plus 9. How's a 23?
It seems pretty good. You watch as some of the people kind of look at each other with surprise. And then they just begin to slowly mosey their way back to their houses as they kind of converse quietly with each other, seemingly excited, and you kind of almost feel the spirits lifting in the town.
And I'll just tack on to the end. And never forget, fairies don't lie.
Yes, they do. Don't listen to him.
They don't lie, but they manipulate.
You're still in bed.
I know.
You didn't come.
So as you're going up
him
to the
over.
Grave Diggers Guild, some of the people do part a little bit as you drag them through, and the same very tall, built like a brick shithouse man comes out with his pad and quill. He actually has pajamas on, and he's just, I didn't think I'd see you guys so soon.
Oh yeah, sorry. We got attacked in our sleep. So that's the Whistler, and this is
Oh,
the lady who I think owned the Illuminated Way. She was married to the guy that she was a demon or some sort of undead monster.
A cultist to some eldritch abomination that gave her unnatural powers.
If you didn't know, the Illuminated Way was sort of a front for like a place that's dealing out demon blood to poison people. So that's sort of her whole deal.
Speaking of deals, though, what's yours?
I'm a grave digger. I dig graves. Sometimes I do paperwork. Like now, I have a shit ton to do now. I thought I just finished it, but
hey, the Whistler's dead. That's good.
Yeah,
Lark's
and I don't know how to fill this out.
Lark's gonna circle behind him and be like, "Oh, come on! Surely you can have a little fun."
I
think
have
he's very busy,
paperwork to
Lark.
fill out. Sadly, it is also 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will be going to sleep immediately after finishing as much paperwork as possible.
You know, I always heard mortals went to bed immediately after finishing. I never knew it in practice.
Well, we'll leave you to that. Sorry for making things complicated, but
I'm so glad I'm asleep.
It's the town's safe. Yeah.
We can celebrate tomorrow. And he kind of begins to picks up Deirdre's body pretty easily. And you watch as some other people kind of like tentatively begin to go to pick up the Whistler.
Dandelion, drop it. Drop Dandelion.
And he kind of backs up a little bit, and they kind of grab the Whistler, and one of the gravediggers just goes, "Ew, it's cold. Ew, 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 ew." It just walks away.
Little slimy and wet too, I know.
Ew, it's so weird. Why is its skin texture like that? Ugh.
Well, it was sort of phasing between realms, I think.
Get the snow shovel.
All right, well, good luck with that.
Yeah. Oh, that thing's fucking creepy. And you watch as one of them does bring out a snow shovel, and they literally just push it along the cobblestone with the snow shovel, just like around back.
Maybe
no
just
respect
burn
for the
that
body.
one.
No respect for the body, but I mean, what is respect to this thing? And yeah, you guys can go back and finish your long rest successfully without interruption.
As we leave, Lark's just gonna be like, Percy, you make being your wingman so hard sometimes.
I have never once asked you to be my wingman. I don't want that. I don't need that. If I wanted to be in a relationship, I would be in a relationship.
You don't need a relationship to have a little fun. And queens know you could use to blow off some steam, darling. You look so tense all the time. Do you need me not to sleep in the room tonight? I can sleep elsewhere. You can have a
I'm
little you time.
Going to bed.
Put a sock on the knob or something.
There is that possibility. But anyway, you all finish out your long rest with no other nightly visitations. It is rather late in the morning when you finally wake up. In order to have a nice full long rest, it's around noon that you actually get a nice full long rest. And it seems the town is in much higher spirits. As you get up and go downstairs, there seem to be more people milling around in the actual nail and headstones sort of tavern area. A lot more people eating, a lot more people talking. There seem to be a lot more people outside as well. And you also notice as you guys go and get your cart, the missing posters have been taken down. So is there anything that you would like to do?
I don't know, maybe quickly pay some respects. I doubt the bodies have been buried already. I mean, how fast are the gravediggers? would all those bodies he brought yesterday already be buried?
It seems as you travel over to the Gravediggers Guild, they seem to be in the process of burying them.
I'll probably at least stand over wherever they're burying Felicity and say a few prayers.
Who are we paying respects to?
The people the Whistler killed.
Oh, I thought I blasted them into smithereens.
No.
Well, that's good. They have something to bury.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
say some
service
words and
yeah, the service is rather brief. It seems that a lot of the family members have kind of
Brief.
after hearing what might have taken them, they kind of relegated themselves to the bad news. So this is quick. It's not a shock. There are tears, but they are reserved. There's no, suddenly bawling and throwing themselves over the casket as you might have seen at other funerals. But there's certainly a lot of sadness as the families mosey their way back to their town, their houses, or wherever they are currently staying.
Nice. I think I'll go back and did we ever get that guy's name? the brick shithouse guy?
No, that's your job. You get every
No,
guy's
I don't
name.
have it
You
written
did
down, so I
not.
guess we didn't ask for it.
No, and I don't
but-
think he gave it either.
No, so I'll go find him.
Okay.
And
All right.
I will most assuredly do so when none of the rest of the party is with me. And I was I'm guessing he's probably doing paperwork or something.
Like he
Yeah.
said.
Sure. So I'll go knock on his door and be like, good afternoon.
Hey.
No
Are you
bodies
running
this
an-
time.
Good.
How is everything going as smoothly as it can?
Yeah, I've managed to finish the paperwork as much
Good.
as I can. I have no idea how to process the Whistler.
Yeah. Don't really know what it is. So, but so we're heading to not Darkmoor. What's the city called? Oh, geez.
Morning.
Morning. We're headed to morning now. We're probably gonna take off here in the next hour or so. But we'll be back through. Maybe in a few days to a week or so. So maybe you could tell me how the Whistler went when we get back.
Sure, I guess. I'm not sure how they're going to handle the body, but we'll see.
Yeah, got it. Would love to see you again when we pass back through.
Sure. I'll definitely be here.
Great. Yeah. I'll swing by. We're gonna go. And
Yeah.
It's gonna start awkwardly walking out.
Yeah. And he just kind of gives you a little salute as he starts pulling out more paperwork from a drawer of like those little library card drawers.
Mm-hmm.
He just starts pulling cards and paperwork out of that to start working on as you leave.
Yeah, we'll walk back to the group. So, should we get ready to head out?
Sure. What did you do?
Just saying goodbyes. You know, it's I used to be around here and wanted to pay respects, and it's just saying bye.
Lark's just gonna drift around Percy and sniff and be like, he doesn't smell like a sweaty pig yet, so nothing that exciting.
Thanks.
Okay.
Did you at least get the man's name?
Oh my god, he didn't.
Percy fully went in there with the intention of getting his name,
Yeah.
but didn't.
When he says that, Lark's just gonna like right behind Percy's ear so that you can feel his breath on your ear. This is why you need a wingman.
It's not like that. Let's just sing bye. Let's get some supplies and hit on the road. Let's get on the road.
I just roll my eyes on like adults.
Is
Ew,
Rerek still in
well,
his
age
ooh
years.
cooties phase?
At the age of 15.
Ooh, cooties. I hate cooties. Okay.
All right. Well, you all end up back on the road. The catnip is spread over the bottom of the cart. Jasmine is occasionally given some potion to keep her sedated as the cart rumbles along. You all leave Gravesend and begin to rumble along down the long, windy road. After a while, the cobblestone runs out, and you begin to pull closer to forest. Plenty of trees shading the road as you begin to continually roll on. This is a stretch of road where there actually is no town for quite some time. You will most likely have to camp out in the woods. The next closest town is Broken Heart, which is practically right next to Morning. It is the sort of farming community where all the farmers live that tend the fields that feed Morning. But it is barely an hour or two's travel from Morning itself, but you still have about a day's journey before you get to Broken Heart. The sun begins to set, and soon you all find yourselves trundling along the road as the sun has gone down and the air is beginning to grow dark. You will need to find somewhere on the side of the road to sleep, or you could try and push on through the night if you wanted.
Can I keep? I'm gonna be flying above the cart. Like, how fast does the cart move?
Probably maybe probably like 45 or 50 feet around.
Oh.
You'd
I
have
mean,
to be
I'll
sprinting.
Oh.
You could-
I'll sporadically, like if it slows down, I'll sporadically, or if we're gonna try to find a spot to camp, I'll fly up and survey things from a fairy's eye view. But I'm not exerting that much effort to keep up with a cart in the air.
All
Lark's
right,
just
fair
lounging
enough.
in the back, draped across, I don't know, the drugged out cat. Nah.
You know what? I'm gonna concentrate on flying because I don't want to walk anymore,
We're not walking. We're in a cart.
Yeah.
or I don't want to be here anymore.
Okay.
I wanna fly with Lark.
It is the preferred method of travel.
Yeah, it's boring in here. Boring.
You do have to fly rather low because the trees create almost an arch over the road. And the foliage is rather thick. So you could easily lose the cart if you went above it. However, if you two would like to make perception checks since you're flying, you may.
Why? Oh, okay.
Because reasons. That's
why?
why.
Oh,
I
did you
have
roll
to-
your portents for the day? Because we
Not yet.
roll portents with every long rest.
I know, and then we just traveled, and then now it's nighttime again, and I don't even know. Oh, that was 3 for perception. Well, hold on. +7, that's a 10. But let's do my portents. 7 and 20. Oh, it's exactly the same as last time. Okay. Should I use my 20?
I
You
mean,
can if you want to.
It's your future sight.
Okay. I'll use my 20 for perception.
All right.
That's
So what
I
did
only
Lark
got a
get?
7 on mine. A 7.
Yeah.
Only a 7?
Yeah, 3 + 4 is 7.
Ah, okay. As you are flying above the cart, you do see through the trees, Rerek, there is a bit of what appears to be some kind of firelight of a campfire.
Fire. There's
It is
okay.
Oh, sorry. It is a bit ahead on the road, but you can still manage to spot the little pinprick between the trees.
Okay.
We try to not use the pinprick word in this party.
Oh, right. A small spot, a moat, a moat of firelight.
I see a light coming from right over there.
Oh, Rerek, you good
What?
eye. I was a little distracted. He points to like an owl regurgitating a mouse.
Yeah, just in the tree.
He's just like, few things on this shithole that you call a plane remind me of home, quite like watching something like that.
Okay. Do y'all want to go over there? I just became like Southern. But do you guys want to go over there?
Yeah, I guess we can check it out.
We could
Okay.
maybe scout it out instead of presuming they're going to be kindly, nice people.
That's probably smart. You guys are flying. Like we can park around the corner and you can fly up and look.
Okay.
Come, Rerek. Dance with me in the
Oh.
pale moonlight.
Oh. Yeah, that episode.
A
of
fairy leading an
SpongeBob?
underage boy away into the night.
No.
Oh my God.
The worst Peter Pan parable ever. You
And
know,
this
that's
is why we
so
have the
big.
child
Those
endangerment
boys,
warning.
Like,
Every session is
But-
child endangerment with
But
Rerek
I
here.
am so big that the way I fly is just like my long limbs are just dangling like this, floating.
Rerek's like 6'7" and Lark's 2'3" or something.
Yeah.
I am the small one.
And I'm like,
Is it-
I can eat you.
But yeah, did you know in the original, like the novelization of Peter Pan, he would murder the Lost Boys whenever they got too
When they
old?
get
Because
too
he was
old.
the only one that didn't grow up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neverland wasn't an eternal youth fountain
Yeah.
thing. Everyone but Peter Pan grew old. Yep.
That's fun.
I read the original book. Anyway.
I've watched enough YouTube videos.
Mm. So you all get closer to the mote of firelight through the trees. And as you come flying around the corner as stealthily as you can, you see it is a camp. There are 1, 2, 3. There are 6 dwarves sitting around a campfire.
Where's the 7th one?
There is no 7th. I get what you were doing, but no, there is no 7th. They do have a quite lovely cart as well as 2 horses that are pulling it. It seems to be a covered wagon of sorts. And they are just conversing with one another around the fire.
Are they speaking in common or?
They seem to be speaking in probably Dwarvish.
Do I understand it? No, I don't.
I don't either.
I don't
any
think
of us do.
anyone speaks Dwarvish.
Yeah. Can I just go hello? And then
Still
just,
flying in the air.
hello, I am your god. No. So is it like a full campsite with like tents and all that?
It seems to be, yes.
So, well, I have like 0 communication skills and I cannot talk to these people properly without them trying to attack me. Can
I'll can I pat you and just be like, leave it to me, sweetheart.
Okay, thank you.
Go signal the others to come forward. Well,
Okay.
don't signal them just yet. I feel like we should have come up with some sort of signal system.
Yeah,
if it was either safe or
Probably.
be ready to
Just-
come in and help us fight.
Just blast some light in the air or something.
My Eldritch Blasts look like the night sky. They ain't gonna see shit.
No. Kind of like, I don't know, prestidigitate something.
I mean, I guess I could print. Well, I have every fucking cantrip in the game practically, so. But yeah, so I'm gonna like alight on a low branch in the trees
Yeah.
and just be like, before I do, I'm gonna druid craft to cover Rerek a little bit more so that he's harder to see. Like just like make some leaves grow, hide him a little bit, circle to a different tree than where he's maybe hiding, and just land in view of the glow and kind of be like, I can't whistle myself in real life. That's just a skill I don't have. Can any of you whistle for me?
No.
Oh, thank you.
I can make a cricket sound.
Do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lark's gonna whistle down and be like, hello.
The dwarves kind of turn and look up, and one of them just, oh, hello, how are you?
They're Irish.
On my way to, I suppose, oh, what's the name of it? Oh, what's the capital city that the humans go to around these parts?
Oh, that'd be morning.
Morning. Such a lovely time, isn't it? I digress. You can call me Lark. Good evening to all of, who are you all?
My name is Glinda.
Glinda?
Glenda.
Glenda,
I said that,
okay.
said that a bit weird. My name's Glenda.
Well, hello, Glenda, and all of these other folks.
They kind of nod, and one of them is like, so are you traveling alone?
Oh, a fairy is never truly alone, especially in the forest.
Yeah, well, do you have any traveling companions with you?
A few a ways down the road, but I spotted your campfire from the sky with some help, and I was sent ahead to gauge if you were dastardly bandits going to slit our throats and rob us of our goods, or people to share a fire with. Oh, which would you say you are?
Well, we certainly don't have any blades. So I guess we're friendly.
Can I insight check that?
Yes, you may.
It's only going to be a 13.
They seem pretty trustworthy.
So I'm gonna just be like, no. In that case, Rerek, he's gonna shout it into the trees, be like, call the others, please.
I mean, yeah, okay. So I do call them.
And so you all pull around the corner where you do see these 6 dwarves sitting around the campfire with a cart and tents and what appears to be some sort of, it seems they're getting out breads and jams and jellies that they're beginning to spread on these slices of bread. And they kind of wave to you as Glenda. It's like, oh, hello, travelers.
Hi, it's wonderful
Hello.
to meet you.
It certainly is nice to have a little more company tonight.
Definitely. I'm Percy. I see you've met Lark and Rerek
Mm-hmm.
and Arthur and my cousin Alex.
Well, I'm Glinda. This is Magnus and Martin, as well as Corinne, Angus, and Albus. So your friend here said you were heading to Morning.
That's correct, yeah.
Where from, if I might ask?
From Darkmoor.
Oh, we're heading to Darkmoor.
Oh, really? What for?
Well, we're stone speakers. And it
You don't
seems
say.
a few of the little dwarven lads and lassies back home have, some of them have begun their training, and some of them are going to be full-fledged stone speakers. So we're coming to give them a warm welcome and have the official swearing-in ceremony for them.
That's amazing. A little while ago, we happened to become friends with Balthazar Stonebeard and his apprentice Elsie.
Ah, Elsie is one of them. She's going to be a stone speaker.
That's amazing. I'm glad she's. I mean, I'm not. I don't truly understand the process, but I am glad she's completed her training. I think that's what she was doing.
It's quite a bit of training that they have to do. The stones don't exactly speak the way we do.
I
You
can
really
imagine.
got to listen.
So where are you traveling from?
We're actually traveling from Morning.
Oh, well, we're just happening to be going to the exact opposite places. That's funny.
So it seems. Yeah, we have a stone speaker temple in Morning.
Gotcha.
Quite close to the Grand Cathedral.
Oh,
But
wow.
they don't let us have our traditions on the cathedral grounds.
That's unfortunate.
Mortal saints, what can you do?
I guess the philosophies are just a bit different. But either way, we have plenty of bread and jam and jellies. If you want some.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. Do we have anything we can share? I'm looking through my inventory. I don't really think we have any.
I still have chocolate.
We have some month-old chocolate.
Is there? So this is a very important question.
I put
These
in my
dwarves.
bag.
Do we got any of those like hot Hobbit dwarves from like the Hobbit prequel movies?
Yeah.
I would say that all of them except Albus. Albus is incredibly old.
And Glenda
White
is a
beard,
woman.
hunched over. There are actually 2 women. There's Corinne and Glenda.
Do
All
they
the rest
both
of them
have
are men.
beards?
They do not have beards. And in fact, Martin does not have a beard.
That's cute. Oh my God.
So, Lark's just eyeing up the men at the circle before zeroing in on whichever one looks the most like. I can't remember the name of the one, but the one from the Hobbit movie that was obsessed with the elf girl because he was literally the hottest dwarf. The hottest dwarf.
Him.
And he's just gonna
I don't
land.
remember his name. The dwarves kind of bleed together in those movies and the books too a little bit. I don't remember.
But Lark's gonna just hover above the hottest male dwarf and be like, "Would you like some candied flower petals, or maybe a butterfly?"
Make me an insight check.
Ugh. 8.
Oh,
it's Keely.
Keely. I thought it was Philly.
Feely is his brother, right?
the
Oh,
blonde one, I think.
Keely and Feely.
I'm talking about the brunette one.
Yeah, it's Keely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Google.
Yeah, with an 8, you don't catch much. But if anybody else would like to make an insight check.
Sure, I'm good at that.
Oh shit!
I got
15.
a 24.
15 for Rerek.
Wait, sorry. That would be 18.
Oh, okay.
24 for Percy.
So you do notice, when Glenda was introducing everyone, she introduced the only 2 people that she introduced together in one breath were Magnus and Martin. You'd think they'd be brothers, but they look very different from one another. And you also notice that both of them have rings on their hands.
I'm gonna slyly come up to Lark and be like, "Who was that needed a wingman again? They're married."
I mean, who's only ever stopped at one?
And I go, brothers are allowed to get married?
Yeah. Okay. Why do I even? Okay, I'm gonna go sit down by the campfire.
I find it funny because they don't even look similar at all. Martin has like this fiery red mane of hair and with braided beard and like this kind of a little bit bigger of a nose. The other one,
I love how they're both like trying
Martin
to get
has like a very narrow nose, short spiked brown hair and no beard. They look completely different, and Rerek's just like, oh, they're brothers.
Historians
be
like,
so you're saying like
I know.
the one is still the one's the hottest male dwarf though, right?
Yeah, we'll just say that Martin is the hottest of the male dwarf.
And I'll flirt with both. Or like when Percy interjects, he's like, "It doesn't matter. I can do 2 at once."
What if you go to the couple and you go, I really like your energy.
Yeah,
I really
we saw you from across the campfire and we really like your vibe.
God damn it.
This is the reverse where you invite yourself into a couple for the night.
Yeah. Stop it.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
my diet.
But yeah, it seems the evening goes by. You do a little bit more conversing. We're not going to role play it, but you do.
I'll roll a persuasion check if you need me to talk about how good Lark is at flirting with people.
It doesn't seem to take. It seems they are quite committed to each other.
Wow.
Over the course of talking, and the subject circles back to Elsie again, and they mention that dwarves and dwarvish has a counterpart known as mind sign, which is a sign language that they all speak due to mining. Dwarves commonly lose their hearing or get into accidents that prevent them from vocalizing. And they mention that Elsie is one of those. And you remember she was wearing bracelets that, as she signed, would translate. But it seems she was in an accident, and they thought that she wasn't going to continue trying to be a stone speaker, but she persevered and went through, and they are quite proud of her accomplishments. But the accident caused her to bite off part of her tongue, which meant that she couldn't speak quite right. And I will say, since you all have been rather nice, over the course of the night, they do teach you a few different of the hand gestures for mind sign. They'll teach you hello, goodbye, I would like, and then bread, soup, helmet, pickaxe, as well as ale and please, as well as thank you. And that's about as far as they get before they all go, ooh, she probably
They didn't teach them
go to
happy ending.
bed. No, they did not teach happy ending.
Like, I want happy ending.
Sorry, that
You're
is
a
not a sign
child.
they're willing to share.
No, I'm speaking
have
as
to-
Nino, not as Rerek.
No, they don't teach that. And they all seem to go into their tents, and you all get a long rest.
Ooh.
In the morning, they say their goodbyes rather early and pack up their tent, and within the hour, they're on the road going back in the opposite direction, and you see Glenda kind of lean out the cart window and give you a wave, and then pop back in as the cart rounds the corner, and off it goes. So now that the morning is yours, is there anything that you all would like to do?
Would there have been an opportunity at some point in the night for me to just like talk to Glenda for a hot second? Like when everybody else, or maybe before they left, as people were saying goodbyes. I just want to slip like one little thing to her. Just a little, not even a physical thing, just a phrase. I just want to ask her and be like,
Okay.
do check with Elsie when you get there to see if that flower I gave her is growing yet, okay?
Oh my god, I forgot I gave you. You should give her a flower.
You guys weren't there for
You
that
little
part.
monster. Okay.
Oh, all right. Not sure how well the plants grow in the cave, but
Oh, darling,
give it a look.
They're from the Feywild. You'd be surprised where they can grow.
All right, I'll give it a wee glance.
Because I gave one to her and her mentor.
To Balthazar.
Lark's just gonna casually bring that up when everybody else is out of earshot or distracted.
You little monster.
Yeah. Well, after
We
that,
don't get the dwarves we want, but we get the dwarves we need in a different way.
So you all have watched or helped them pack up, and they have left the campsite. They've quenched the fire, and they are off to Darkmoor for their celebrations. And you are left by yourselves.
Well, that was a nice surprise.
I feel like it's been a while since someone hasn't tried to kill us.
Right? It's been the first time I've been surprised, but it was a good thing.
It's the friendliest people has ever been with us
Mm.
in a while. So where do we go next again? Morning?
Just stay on the road.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll hit the trail.
All right. So as you continue rolling on down the forest path, it's about midday. You all are still rolling along when you come to a clearing in the forest. It's pretty wide, and it seems that even though it's maybe about 11 o'clock in the morning, there's still some fog that seems to sit over the field. And as you pass by, even though there's nothing around, or at least nothing that you can see, you hear a church bell ring. It rings about 3 times, then it stops.
Can Arthur prime whatever he does? Turn on
Primeval
his,
awareness.
yeah, his Scooby-Doo sense about undead people and abominations.
Yeah. He kind of concentrates for a moment and he looks up. Oh, fuck. Really? Today? And he just points over there. There's some aberrant energy. Fuck.
I mean, it was nice running into things that weren't trying to actively kill us for a while.
Wait, what's going on?
What are we going to do? Are we just going to leave it?
No, I wouldn't be responsible. All right, lead the way, Arthur.
All right. And he kind of vaults over the edge of the cart and begins walking across the field. As you all follow him, squelching through the mud and through the fog, I would like all of you to give me perception checks.
Oh, hold on.
15 for Percy.
Mm-hmm.
That is a total of 22.
9 for Lark and wait, what was that?
Oh, I have Alex too.
Oh, what's your modifier, Arthur? Perception plus 5. 23 for Arthur, 9 for Lark.
For
All right.
Alex, it's 18.
All right. So everyone that's gotten a 15 or higher, as you're kind of looking around, the grass isn't as high in certain places. And you notice there are a surprising number of white worms on the surface. Some of them burrow into the ground, some of them just continue inching along, but you start to see them on the ground in just unnatural numbers of them.
That cannot be normal.
I always knew this place was maggot infested. Like your entire plane, too many things die here.
Yeah,
for them to
I know
live.
what you meant.
That's disgusting. Can I?
As you pass into the woods,
Can I mold earth to like lift up a clod of maggot infested earth?
yes, what would you like to do with it?
Fling it at somebody?
Fine, I'll allow you to, you know what, make an attack roll using your spellcasting ability modifier. Who are you targeting?
What are you using?
I'm using mold earth to just like
Oh.
earth bend some mud at somebody that's full of maggots.
Mm-hmm.
And just be like, hey Percy, heads up. Has a 20.
When he hits.
Yeah, you don't deal any damage, but you hear Lark just say, "Hey, Percy, heads up," and then suddenly something wet just hits you in the hip.
Seriously, like we're about to go fight some undead. I am banishing you in your sleep at some point. I hope you know that.
It would be an
like-
improvement. I'd be back in the Feywild.
Then I'm like, I'm distancing myself from this. So I just float. Yeah.
I'll press the digitation to clean it off of him. And be like, I thought you were a scholar amongst men and you would want to investigate the worms, or you'd at least be nimble enough to dodge a clod of earth. But
I'm sure your intentions were only good.
aren't they always?
Almost never.
I mean, our definition of good is very different, though.
That is remarkably true.
Aren't I always, though?
How far away are we, Arthur?
As you continue into the woods, you notice the grass actually, it's usually a sort of gray in Gothia, almost as if it has somehow died but is still living. Here, it has this odd yellowy green, almost as if not so much the grass itself is that color, but the light in the area is that color. And soon you come across a small gathering of buildings. All of them are A-frame buildings, the roofs coming completely down to the ground. They've all been painted a sort of somewhere between a brick red and a blood red. The wood has been painted. There seems to be gardens growing vegetables. There are garlands of flowers strung through the branches. There are tiny wooden effigies that have been strung up in the trees. There are about 5 of these A-frame houses, in a sort of semicircle around a empty sort of small circular patio made of bricks that has been laid into the ground. And on the other side of that is a larger A-frame house with a stained glass window also made with red glass. The paint around it is significantly fresher, as if it had been replaced. And it has a very strange, eerie, sort of almost melty appearance to it. The design is made in such a way that it almost looks like worms, red worms writhing on top of each other. It's very, very bizarre.
Wriggly things.
Is this pardon, I mean, I'm new to the material plane in general, but this has the same sort of vibe that like all Hydra's lair did to me a little bit, like that culty flair. Like just a dash, like a sprinkle of cult flavor.
Yeah, I'm getting some culty flair.
I mean,
Wouldn't be surprised.
Rather fabulous, if I must say, though. The worm obsession, they're not even that tasty. Lark is just eating a butterfly wing at this point from his
You still
slowly
have them.
diminishing staff.
Butterfly.
How many
wing
of those
shit.
do you still have?
It's not my ancestor who had a very particular taste in his collection, darling. Can I roll to see how many butterflies I have left to eat?
You know what? Roll me 2 D100.
Oh, perfection.
There's a lot of tiny ones, and you've stashed them all in a single box.
58.
So you have 58
Ow,
butterflies left to eat.
I've got about 58 left, Percy. I've been through almost half of the ones I found.
Okay. So worm cult? That's what's happening here? Worm cult?
As you say those, you, Percy, hear a voice inside your head.
Oh,
The voices are usually just a kind of white noise at this point. You've been able to block them out, but sometimes they do come forward. And one does seem to come forward. And you just hear, what is this? Heresy.
I don't know. One of them is talking, and it seems not super stoked about whatever's happening here.
okay.
They've abandoned me.
Who is it?
Hi.
You know who it is?
At this point, also, another voice seems to pop up. They haven't abandoned you. They've upgraded.
But they're fighting.
Who's fighting?
You stole them from me. They chose this for themselves.
Apparently, there's like 2 of them.
Ow!
And
Oof.
one took these people from the other, and they're like not happy about it.
Yeah.
There's drama in the aberrant community right now.
Kill them, destroy them, burn their buildings to the ground. No, they can serve you. Make a deal with me. I will let them see that I work through you. No, do not do such a thing. Sway them back to my side or kill them all.
Okay, so they're kind of pitching things now. The first one is sort of like, hey, kill all these people and I'll reward you. And then the other one is like, hey, don't kill them and I'll reward you. It's
So,
weird having a whole conversation up there right now.
so these are I mean, I'm just going to point it out here, fellas. Third option. They followed aberrations that got trapped and bound by a mortal family. Why don't we just present them with a fresh option?
Which is what?
Supplanting religious figures. Lark's just flicking a seed between his fingers before Druid crafting it into
No.
a flower. Oh, Percy, honestly, do you think worshipping a fairy queen would be any worse than whatever they're doing in the name of a bunch of unholy aberrations?
We have one Samantha, and that's enough.
I'm not saying a Samantha, darling. You remember that quaint little community of rabbit folk back in the Feywild? I mean, Panic surely is getting hungry.
So you want to feed these people to your murderous sister?
I'm just saying maybe she needs better hunting grounds, or maybe the queen needs more servants, but I'm just pointing out that they don't need to worship aberrations when there's better options out there. Hell, we could send them to the hells.
Hi, up there. Hey, Percy, you're in my head. So I'm sensing some tension. So one of you, these people worshipped you, and then the other one took those people. That's sort of what I'm getting. Is that what happened?
They betrayed me.
Yeah.
Don't listen. They switched. They were willing.
And are you like the worm god or something?
Yes, I am Caius, the crawling worm.
Right. Well, hi, Caius, the crawling worm. And what's your name? Other disembodied voice.
I am Sathagua, Lord of the Frogs.
Right, I was getting frog vibes. What was the first part of the name?
Sathagua.
Sathagua.
It starts with a T. Let me quickly type it into Google
It
because
starts
I
with a
don't.
T.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is
T.
Michael.
I'll be right back, guys. I gotta run upstairs real quick.
Okay. Tsathogua.
Okay, I got kind of close. Um. So, so Caius, what you want is to just leave these people alone to continue worshiping you. Am I correct there?
Indeed.
Gotcha. And then Sathagua, you want us to kill them.
Spill their blood.
Gotcha.
Is Percy saying that out loud?
Yeah, I'm saying it all out loud.
Okay, well, can we just
He's just
leave?
having a conversation in his head.
Do you have something to say to the
Can
the
we
voices?
just leave these assholes behind or something? Are we where we're supposed to be at?
What?
Are we where we're supposed to be?
No, we're going to mourning
Yeah, why aren't we there?
because we found this,
I
which
know,
is a
but
problem.
I don't. I feel like this is not our responsibility.
Well, given that it is an aberrant monster taking over a village, I do feel somewhat responsible. That's sort of our bag right now.
Oh God. Okay. It's like going to the shop with my mom, and my mom just keeps going to like all these
And talking to her
places that
friends.
they're buying what she needs to buy.
Right. So let's window shop a little, why don't we? So
Oh,
Caius,
God.
if we don't kill them, what will you give us?
I can give you power. You
Right.
can be my prophet. They will worship you and give you offerings.
Gotcha. And what about you, Sathagua?
I will give you strength if you spill their blood in my name. Return the souls of the heretics to me.
Right. See, that does sound a little bit like I would sort of be bound to servitude of either of you
Yes.
in that situation.
Yes.
Well, that's just not going to work for me, guys. So why don't we all just pipe down a little bit and we're going to go do our thing. Maybe if you present us with a better offer, maybe we'll consider things later, but toodaloo for now. So neither of those options sound great because I don't really feel like being a sort of prophet of the worm god. So why don't we go to the town, see what it's all about, and decide from there?
Yeah.
Cool.
So you guys are just gonna leave the tiny little.
Yeah.
we're gonna
thing.
go investigate the town
Wasn't
or
that
whatever
my
this group
first
of buildings
option?
is.
All right.
Are there people?
As you get closer to the center, you do hear chanting.
Oh, so it's just a straight up cult. Okay, cool.
Seems to be. You do hear chanting from inside of the large building with the stained glass window.
Cool. So not to be like, I don't know, murderous or anything. These are people in there. Does this feel sort of like a fireball the building moment to anybody else?
And you call me wicked.
Yeah, I feel like I can just fireball this shit and be done with it.
Because I don't know, there's probably like a lot of cultists in there. And like, do we really, what are the odds we think we can like convert them and like make them better, normal people?
I mean, with a little bit of magic and a little bit of...
Fairy dust.
Without giving them to the Fey Queens.
What's wrong with...
So if
Percy? Percy, look me in the eye and tell me you think the queens are any worse than what are going on in your head.
Well, they're not much better.
So if I blast them all to death, who will that favor between those two
I
voices?
mean, I think the one that wants them dead, but like, we're not like officially making a deal. So
Yeah,
I think
but who will that favor?
it'll favor the frog guy.
Okay.
So why choose favorites when we can just deliver them to the queen?
Because I don't trust the queen.
Oh, but you trust the abominations.
I
Yeah.
no, I don't. I don't
How
trust
does
any
this,
of them.
how does the cult look like? Are they like in a circle or in a
I
line?
don't think we can see them yet.
You cannot see them. They seem to be inside of the large building with a stained glass window, and the door is shut. But you
Okay,
do
I
hear them
can-
chanting from inside.
It's up to you guys. I can fireball this shit. Me and Alex can fireball this at the same time. And, like,
I mean, sure,
have it
why
over
not?
with.
I'm always up for
And
fireballing.
It's up to you guys. It's two
I-
balls, two
Let's-
fireballs.
let
Like I
us
feel
never-
bad. I just
Let us never forget that it is Percy who is saying, let's torch the non-believers who don't
Is this
believe
a
in
fire-
my God, because
Is
no
this
one
a
else's
fireball
God is good
situation?
enough.
there
for
are
them.
plenty of other great gods, all right? There are
Yet my
there are
queen,
tons
who has
of great.
personally intervened on your behalf, is not good
Yeah,
enough.
by
for these
giving
pathetic
Samantha
mortals.
to the Bear King or whatever and making her evil.
She didn't make Samantha evil. It was Samantha's own pettiness that led her down that path.
Well,
At
now we
least-
still have to
at
fight
least
her
we
every
can
2
kill
to 3
Samantha
weeks.
over and over, and it won't be a problem.
We just need to kill Samantha in the Feywild and she'll stop coming back.
Well,
Or get her thrown out of favor with the Bear King and he'll probably de-juice her so she won't be able to come back even if we kill her here.
okay, well, Lark, let's posit this then. How do you plan on giving all of these cultists to your queen?
With a little help from a certain Lark drifts over to Alex, illusionist here, we can just
It'd be fun.
play a gentle trick. Make them think that the worm god has chosen a new, I don't know,
Form?
incarnation, a new turn of phrase, a new source of power, and just gently push them to the fate. It doesn't even need to be the queen herself. We could give them to the hag coven. We could give them to the lord of, well, he's not really Fey, but he's coming to the waltz of shadows. We could give them to the vampire lord. Goodness knows he'd at least eat them. It's such a waste to just burn a bunch of cultists in a building. I mean, we don't eat souls, but we don't let the rest of things go to waste either.
Okay, well, what's the group vote here? What does the group think?
I don't
We
really
can't
feel
just
like
leave these
fighting. We
people
can
here.
trick them.
Okay, so that's
What?
2 for tricking. Like,
How about blasting the whole building down?
I'd rather blast him. I don't give a shit.
Me neither.
Wait, could I think of like an unsteely archfey that this would be right up their alley?
I would say you probably know enough that you could pick one. I'm trying to think. The only one that I can think of right now that might fit them the best is Oberon, because he rules over the wild hunt and therefore by extent some beasts.
Hmm.
That might be the closest, but he's one of those that are kind of fickle and kind of has a foot in both courts, and he's married to Titania, who is the queen of the summer court, the Sealy court, but he does have a foot in both courts.
Because not all marriages need to be monogamous, if you know what I'm saying. Dwarves. I'm kidding. So Lark's gonna be like, I mean, we could even give them Oberon, the Wild Hunt, the half courts, the things in between. We don't have to go full on Seelie darlings, but serving a fae would be a far, far better term than doing whatever these worm and frog gods want them to do.
All right, well, I guess it's down to me to break the tie. um, Lark, look at me. Look at me, Lark.
Percy.
Promise me this will not end up in another Samantha.
If we blast them, then it won't.
I promise you
Alex?
it won't end up in another.
And I'm going to be more specific here so that you can't ferry your way out of this by saying it won't be Samantha. By any sort of evil recompense, not evil, taking away the word evil. I know your little brain, and it just, they can't come back and fight us. They can't come back and try to kill us.
I don't think they would want. I don't suppose they would want to come back and kill us.
Promise me.
I can't make a promise that I can't keep to 100% there, Percy.
Is
But
Arthur voting for the same thing?
Arthur,
I'm
and
voting
you
for just
are
blowing
voting for blowing it
them
up.
the fuck up.
Alex voted pro. Let's convert them to worshiping a fairy along with Lark.
Yeah.
Now, Percy,
Oh, God.
I can't tell you about the goings on between courts, but it's not all subterfuge and intrigue. And if we do give them over to the Lord of Beasts and the Hunt, they could live wild and free and not scraping maggots off the ground at least, or at least get turned into beasts to be hunted, which would be a fairer fate than burning them in their place of worship to death just because we don't agree with them as is.
That's the nicest thing he's ever said. You know what? He's changing my mind.
Don't make
If
me
I-
regret this, Lark.
If I can't blast them,
Percy, this is where Lark gets like uncomfortable, like flies uncomfortably close to Percy's face and just does another like, because he's 2'3". He's got like, he's may be physically proportioned like a male pole dancer, just shrunk in miniature. But to everyone else, he's like child-sized almost. Where he does that thing where he places both of his hands on either cheek and he goes, I was born out of regret. I can't stop it from happening. It's tasty and delicious.
It's just so disconcerting.
What?
That was the moment where probably a bit of reassurance would have swung me your way. But I don't want to just kill these people outright. So fine, we can try your weird little give them to the fairies plan.
what are the voices in his head saying something?
They're always up there bickering. I can usually not understand what they're saying, but I think they're quiet for now. So what do we need to make your plan happen, Lark?
Spencer, what do we need to make my plan happen?
Well, you certainly need to try and find a way to convince these people that they need to switch gods. You, of course, have a variety of spells at your disposal. I'm sure you have a variety of magical items at your disposal that you could use, a variety of abilities that you could use.
We could tell them perhaps that Caius was it the disembodied worm? Is that what I wrote?
The
Is that their
crawling
name?
worm.
The crawling. I think I just wrote disembodied because I was saying disembodied voices. We can tell them that Caius, the crawling worm, has been defeated by one of your Fey lords.
That could
I mean,
that
he
be?
technically is. He's trapped in your brain.
I mean, he was defeated by my family, but we can lie.
I mean, it
Well,
wouldn't be.
you can't. But
I'm not going to lie to them. I will compare him to being little more than a worm beneath the hoof print of the Lord of the Hunt stag that he rides into the hunt, which wouldn't be that far off considering, yet again, their crawling worm lord was trapped by a family of mortals.
Right. So that's step one of the plan.
We need to be flashy. Mortals love a good flash. They
Well,
need
you have that little
pomp, they need
fairy
circumstance. They need
I've got
flair.
major
pizzazz.
image.
Alex has major image. You can do your little look at me fairy magic.
That is true.
I can give you the eagle's splendor charm to make you better at charisma.
That could be helpful. I suppose I can aim them towards the mid-ground instead of directly to the queen. I pray she'll forgive me, though. Though, I mean, any souls collected for our books have to be good in the long run. Pour your splendor on me, Percy.
Okay. I will cast Enhance Ability and give him Eagle Splendor, so you have advantage on all charisma checks.
Okay.
Oh shit! I forgot my rolls. Did we use my rolls?
We have not
used your rolls yet.
not used any rolls yet today.
I don't
Let's
think
go
we rolled
convert
them
a
for today.
cult.
What?
They're both bad. It's a 7 and a 1. So
That's good.
If they need to make saving throws, give them a
Yeah.
7 or a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
best
always a
use
good
of those
option.
sort of things. So Lark's gonna be like, okay, here's the plan. Alex, you're on illusions and trickery.
Right.
We're going to make them think, and it's not even going to be that much of a stretch of the truth, really, that the Feywild is always around them in a place like this, because once you get past the maggoty smell, it's got potential. It's a fixer-upper, this whole community, really. Just a little redecoration, a shifting of allegiances. We could be onto something here, boys. Alex is on the illusions, and how many worms are on the ground around us?
Several handfuls here and there.
Percy, I need you to just start killing worms indiscriminately.
Like, what does that mean?
Just, we need to exterminate as many worms as we can. They're the symbol of their god.
I mean, as like part of a performance? Am I just stomping on them?
No, I mean, just like, can't you just like cause them to wither and fling them at, I don't know. If the worms are the symbol of the crawling worm, we need to get rid of as many worms as we possibly can.
Pick up a worm and I
no.
like burn it.
That's a start.
It's like this, Percy.
Thanks, Rerek.
Do this.
Like no,
this.
the
Preferably
only
something a little splashy.
I can do a sacred flame. That's pretty much all. Which will descend from the sky and strike. So
That is very godlike.
Yes.
I can thaumaturgy and make little earthquakes and things for you.
Well, I can. That would be appreciated from the outside. I'll go in solo and start the chitter chatter. And now, Percy, don't get in the way. But I mean, we all know that the fastest way for me to contact the other plane. Lark just starts flicking a seed between his fingers.
Lark, you can plant a seed in this one instance.
Oh, we're going to plant more than one, darling.
What sort of illusion is Alex conjuring?
I would like to know that before I start doing it.
So I'm thinking a symbol of the crawling worm withering and dying before the giant hoof of a stag or buck of some sort crushes it into the ground behind me as I talk. Because, like, I presume Oberon probably doesn't ride a horse when he's on his hunts, right?
No, he does ride a stag.
Yeah. Oh, and make it I think it's a white stag. Is it a white stag?
Yes.
Is it a white stag, Spencer?
Yes, yeah. It would be a white stag.
Oh, go with white. It's his preferred color. White stag hoof crushing the Worm King, following up my speech. Maybe. Can you major image? Can you change it in the process of it?
I
Yeah.
believe illusion wizards can. Yeah.
Of course I can.
Can you
I'm
get it
going
to
to class for it.
Can you get it to envelop the whole cathedral?
Oh,
I think I can only do it like 15 feet in any dimension. I think that's the limit of the spell.
Does he have hallucinatory terrain?
He does have hallucinatory terrain, I believe.
Good.
He does, because he tried to, I think it's part of the book that I gave him, the duplicitous manuscript, as well as he tried to use it in the one shot.
Nice.
So I think you might have to drop the first illusion, but he could do then hallucinatory terrain.
Oh, he'll drop after the first major image is done. Or major image can change behind us? What kind of Lark didn't grab any sort of, he doesn't have many good illusions.
Well, actually, hallucinatory terrain does not say concentration.
I was just checking that. Yeah,
So you can have both.
but it does take 10 minutes.
Oh, to cast takes 10 minutes.
Mhm.
You're right, it does. Okay, so we'd have to like start
We have
that
to do it
before we
now.
go in.
Yeah.
Start casting it now. I'm thinking like raining
Twilighty
dead
forest.
worms into the cathedral that shrivel and die, and that
That's
slowly.
not how that spell works.
Then how does it work, darling?
It just makes the terrain look different. It's not major image. It you know, I can make it look like a twilight forest around here with little fireflies and things like that.
The only one of us who actually hasn't gone into the Feywild yet.
Well, Alex he can use his imagination. These people haven't gone to the Feywild either.
Wait, who hasn't gone to the Feywild?
These cultists.
Oh, fair. Well, hopefully they will. All right, so hallucinatory terrain, we're thinking primeval forest full of will-o-wisps. Maybe get the will-o-wisps to look like your cousin's sacred flame, so that when it crushes the worms outside, if they go to investigate that, they can link it in their little human brains. Presumably human. These houses make me wonder if they're human or not. But yes, we're doing a diss track. I shouldn't say diss track. That's probably not a term in D&D. But Lark's like we're just starting a small coup d'état of this community's religious beliefs. And I'll do my best to convince them that the crawling worm has fallen far below the purvey of any of the Archfey, but in particular, the forest should belong to the Wild Hunt and the Lord who leads it. And it'll massage, and Lark does a little pet on Percy, and he's not even totally Seelie or unseelie, Percy. He's married to the Seelie Queen, after all.
Okay. Nothing about that is going to make me feel any better. So I'm glad we're at least not just murdering them, I guess.
Well, I guess we'll give it a shot. And Alex pulls out his book and he opens it and he begins casting the spell. And over the course of 10 minutes, the air grows dark and blue. The shadows grow purple. The trees shift to become more whimsical, not necessarily fey-like, but definitely more whimsical. Motes of small little greenish and bluish lights like fireflies begin to float through the air. And after about 10 minutes, there. How's that?
Not bad, darling.
All
Could
right.
use a little work, but
Let's get this fucking show on the road.
all right. Do you think I should just smash in the window and fly in, or Percy, do that thing where you magically open doors with a big
Okay,
bang?
I'll do some theatrics for you.
Mm.
So are we all ready?
Oh, and Rerek.
yeah.
some flashy magic from time to time would be helpful. And Arthur, sweetheart, you're on emergency duty if they do turn hostile too quickly. Just kill whichever
Rerek,
one looks like he's in the lead.
fireball as fast as you can if things go south.
Oh, don't fireball me, though.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And Arthur just holds up his bow.
All right. If we're all ready, Percy's going to stand so he can't be seen through the door, but I'll thaumaturgy the doors to slam open.
There is a very nice double door, and it just...
And I'll make the ground rumble.
You see inside, the cultists are kind of looking around as the light that is coming through the stained glass window at the back of the church seems to be this sort of bluish moonlight. They're attempting to keep up their chant, but they're kind of faltering as they look around, and they all jump as the doors bang open. And they stare. They're wearing robes, crimson robes, with hoods, and they're all holding knives. But they're just standing in a circle in the middle of this room.
And I also thaumaturgy to make some like sparkling noises to make it seem like Fae, and then I also make Lark's voice boom really loud as he talks.
So Lark's gonna just he's gonna start flying in. And how many cultists are there?
There are 5 in total, one of which at the back seems to have a significantly more elaborate robe and also be holding a staff with his
there's only
knife.
5 of them. Are they human or something else?
They appear to be human.
Okay. And they're all like in a circle together, right?
Yes.
So Lark's gonna kind of just start flying towards the circle as he goes. Just looking around the cathedral casually, dismissively, actually. Just kind of flying towards the circle, and he's just going to be like, "The crawling worm has fallen."
And they all...
I'm gonna land in the middle of the circle, and I'm going to use my Fey presence. Which I haven't used in like months.
I know.
So I'm gonna, I can't read it on my character sheet because it's too small, so let me Google it. But I want to say it's either a charisma or wisdom saving throw.
I think it's a charisma. It makes the most sense that it's a charisma.
Let me check. Fey presence 5e. Wisdom saving throw against your Warlock spell save DC. They're either going to be charmed or frightened by me until the end of my next turn. And once I use this feature, I can't use it again until a short or long rest. So I'm just going to like casually land in the center of their circle as I say the worm god has fallen. And as I get to the center of their circle, not actually landing, I'm going to use my Fey presence and just be like, but the Archfey are always happy to oblige the faithful.
As you
I'm going to
unleash...
thaumaturgy to make the whatever flames are lighting up this area, they kind of like flicker and go out and come back on. And like...
Yeah, and they kind of looking around. As you unleash this energy to attempt to charm them, ensnare them in this sort of Fey presence, you find it's a bit harder to do so. They're still susceptible, but it's harder to charm them.
Okay. They have to beat a 17 on a wisdom save.
Wisdom? Wow. Okay, so 1 failed. 1 succeeded. 1 failed. That one failed as well, so now the leader. 16.
Does not beat it. You have to beat a 17.
All right. Well, one of them rolled an 18 with advantage. The rest of them all failed. So every single one of them, except for 1 random cultist, seems to be charmed by you.
Can I help with that with my portents?
You can.
Just give him a 7.
All right, so they all failed and they're all charmed.
Yes,
go.
yes. Lark's not even gonna like give them an opportunity to talk. He's gonna be like, in case you haven't heard, the crawling worm has fallen to the trickery of mortals. Though I can surely attest that no Archfey would ever do something. If anything, the crawling worm is just a worm beneath the heel of others. And like that's gonna be the agreed upon cue for Alex to conjure the stag hoof crushing worms with major image.
Yeah, he causes the stained glass window to ripple and swirl, and this image forms almost out of the stained glass as the window seems to grow of a stag stomping, a white stag stomping repeatedly on this worm that just lays there as it just gets stomped on again and again and again.
At this
and
point,
again.
I'm also going to start using Sacred Flame on various worms that are within view of the open doors.
Yeah, they watch as this holy light just starts lighting up the worms as they all in terror.
Now, darlings, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help you. Look at yourselves, surrounded by all this, the glory of all these trees, nestled in the heart of nature. And what's closer to nature, I ask you, than my people, the Fae? Few things, maybe an elemental or a primordial at best, but I'm just pointing it out there that your gods have fallen, so let's talk shop and get you to follow mine. And I'm just, Lark's kind of just like sitting there. They're charmed. And he's going to use Druid Craft to make one of the seeds in his hand like fully bloom into a Bitterheart flower.
Mm-hmm.
And just be like, so yes, consider me your emissary, your scion, your savior, practically.
And they all kind of just look at each other.
Oh, you can trust me, darlings. I'm at least far more in your best interests than whatever the crawling worm has told you. That I can assure you. And like, can I persuade?
Yes, you may.
Okay. So what does Eagle Splendor let me do?
You have an advantage.
Okay. Oh, good thing he gave me advantage because that's a 5 and a 7. 7 plus 9 is a 16 on persuasion.
Okay.
They are also charmed. I don't know if that helps.
Well, that would have just given you
It would have
advantage
also
as
given
well.
you advantage.
Yeah. So yeah, they do kind of all look at each other. They slowly lower their knives, and the leader seems to go, "What would you have us do?"
Well, now, I personally serve one of the twin queens. They're arguably the two most powerful Archfey, but something about your community just... unless you're particularly fond of nightmares, I'd recommend the Lord of the Wild Hunt, Lord Oberon, perhaps.
Okay.
No, lower your hoods, darlings. I can't even see you.
And they do kind of pull their hoods back. Interestingly, you do see spots on their faces that seem to almost be rotted.
Percy
Are they
should
like
kill them a
sick,
bit.
or are they like...
There's just spots on their faces that are rotted.
All right. Oh, darlings. Is this the work of the crawling worm?
They kind of nod.
Though I suppose that this may change things a little bit. Oberon is Seelie, and they are very particular about appearances compared to us, but... So, like, after seeing them, Lark's like, he's almost like, if he delivers them to the Seelie court, because, I don't know, there's stories. I mean, I guess Spence, would it be like how in some writings the Seelie court literally has beauty standards for getting in and out of it?
I would say some Archfey in the Seelie court would have such a thing, but not all of them.
Yeah, because like in some source books, there's literally a reason why the Unseelie are full of like Fomorians and goblins is because they're not pretty enough to be in the Seelie court. So Lark was gonna be like, oh, I can't send these guys there. We're gonna have like 5 Samanthas on our hands. Well, now, my camera keeps turning blue in this lighting for some reason.
That is weird.
It's my fairy magic.
Fits very well with the hallucinatory terrain.
It's happening.
It's either that or, oh yeah, my battery's dying, so I need to make sure I plug that in at some point. So, well, darlings, let's give you a choice, a lottery, as it were. On one hand, Lark's going to use minor illusion in one hand to conjure up like a pastiche of Lord Oberon. We could try to contact Lord Oberon, Lord of the Wild Hunt, Lord of Beasts and Nature. I think he'd love the place, honestly. On the other, dismisses minor illusion in one hand and whips up a minor illusion of the Queen of Air and Darkness, or like an approximation of her court. I serve the Queen of Nightmares, the Queen of Air and Darkness, she who brings terror to the mortal plane and has harvested the fears of your people for generations. And I'm just saying, she could at least take this unfortunate circumstance you find yourselves in thanks to your last master and put it to use, if not find a cure. Options.
I have a question. Can I make myself can I use polymorph just to make myself look like Oberon? I don't have to be
not like Oberon, I don't think.
Yeah, polymorph
No.
only does beasts. You could turn yourself into a white stag.
You could.
I was thinking about that earlier too. Can I just do that?
Sure.
Now you have 2 stags.
But now Lark's throwing a minor wrench as he's like, I mean, you could still serve the queen if you want to serve the queen, but here's her deal completely right now. But so yeah, Lark's gonna be like, Queen of Nightmares, Lord of the Wild Hunt. If you're into the woods and you're a particularly woodsy society, I'd recommend him. If you like scaring people and if you're particularly antisocial and don't like other people and people have let you down and betrayed you, she's an option. Those are 2 options that come off the top of my head, darlings.
So they kind of look at each other, and the leader goes, we will dedicate this place to Lord Oberon. And he rings the bell, which is a very large bell in a frame. And he kind of dings the bell. But you do see about 2 of the cultists kind of raise their hands for a moment and then kind of
the
look
ones
down.
that were going to raise their hand, Lark's like, don't worry, Oberon walks between both courts.
And they kind of nod.
You can be as scary as you want with him. Well, not quite as scary as you want, I suppose. Though, unfortunately, it's still better than nothing, I suppose. Yes, well, I guess I should give you a primer in contacting and worshipping an Archfey. So Lark's going to give them being a Warlock 101, or at least an Archfey Warlock 101. I don't know, Spence. I mean, it's literally one of my classes, so... Do you need me to roll anything? Do we need to montage this?
Yeah, let's just say that we can montage this a little bit. And as you are doing this, Percy, you do hear in your head, "No, blasphemers! How dare they?"
You don't always get what you want, do you, Caius, the crawling worm,
Do something about this.
Seth, the Gua? It's really, really, it's a hard knock life.
Kill them all. They're weakened and distracted. Spill their blood.
I'll
Kill
get
the
right on that.
blasphemers.
Okay.
It's just kind of that for a little bit.
Percy's probably just like huddled in a corner, rocking back and forth, or something like, like trying to sort out the voices in his head.
And I'm just enjoying stomping on worms. Bam, 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 bam.
There's like an actual
worm,
stag
dead worm.
outside just killing
stomping on
worms.
worms. That's great.
You're dead. You're dead. You're dead.
So yeah, I'm gonna just be like, now, do any of you know some magic?
I believe the leader does. Yeah, well, yeah, the leader does. He's technically a cult fanatic, which means he does have some spellcasting capabilities.
All right, darling. Well, all of you darlings, really, because so Lark's just gonna give them like, I don't know, the continuing education class of Warlock 101.
All right.
This is how you make a pact with an interplanar entity from my plane of existence.
Is that like Wizard 101?
I was doing like the it could be Warlock. Yeah, it would be like the Warlock 101 equivalent, or like taking introductory to philosophy, or even like just a fun weekend long workshop on how to sell yourself into servitude to a higher power, which is just, when you think about it, oh God, church. No, I'm going to hell, everyone. It's fine.
I wish I played Wizard 101.
I did.
It slapped. I mean, not really. It's a bad game, but it slapped.
Came out when I was like 16 already, and I thought
it's gone all microtransacty and shit. I logged back in recently. Yeah, it's anyway. So yeah, you give them the rundown on attempting to make a deal with Oberon, the Wild Hunt, and they
can I like help them like begin it, maybe, like to make sure they at least contact the other side.
Sure. How would you like to go about that?
Well, I mean, what would be the easiest way of, well, there's the flowers. So how about we plant a ring of bitter hearts, of bitter blooms, maybe around that cute little like centerpiece in town. It's not quite like a natural fairy ring, but maybe it'll do in a pinch. The Lark will be like, you wouldn't happen to have a fairy ring nearby, would you?
No.
Maybe a ring of mushrooms.
No.
Okay, then this will do in a pinch, though I don't know how long they'll last when we do it like this. So yeah, he's gonna just help them make like an altar to the Fae. Obviously incorporate some bitter blooms so that the queen's in on it. But you're like, well, do you have like a stag head nearby, or some antlers, or anything that was gotten from a hunt? Do you hunt a lot? Do you scavenge?
We have gardens.
I mean, bring your best bounty from the gardens now.
And they rush off and they gather up, like there's a bunch of turnips and radishes and rhubarb and rutabaga and things like that they kind of gather up into a basket. And
while they're doing that, Lark's gonna just go find where Arthur is and be like, I need you to go bring me a dead deer right now.
I said, sure.
Preferably a buck. As many we're winging it at this. I'm winging it. I'm a fairy.
That's real funny.
Yes, we don't have much time, but bring me a buck. Preferably, what time of day is it?
It's probably around like 12 noon at this point.
I need a buck by nightfall.
Easy enough, I'm sure. If you would like, you can, just because we're speeding this along a little bit, have Arthur roll a survival check.
Oh,
I was just imagining this at the end of this. Who's like, okay, just sign here, here, and here.
Arthur only got a 7 on his survival check because he's real bad at it. Our ranger can't kill a deer.
Yeah. We'll just say that was the first hour, and after the second one, he can make another survival check. We'll just say make 3 survival checks, and we'll string them together and hope for the best.
Well, the next 2 were a 24 with his modifier, and then a nat 20.
Oh, yeah. So after about 3 hours while you're setting up this stuff, he comes back with a buck over his shoulder. It doesn't have a lot of points on its antlers, but at this point it's something, it's anything. So he does bring it back. This was the only one.
It'll do. It'll do. Now get out of here. They shouldn't see you. And well, have Jasmine. She won't. Can Jasmine drag the corpse to the edge so that they can find it?
Yeah, she does drag it to kind of the edge of the kind of in front of one of the houses, and then darts round to the back of it.
Oh, look, that would be perfect in the centerpiece. Tut tut, boys. Boys, girls, I don't know who these cultists are or were.
They do appear to be all men.
Oh. Gentlemen. That. Center. Now. And then
they run and they get it. They drag it over. They very visibly look confused.
Yeah. So Lark's reasoning is he's just going to go through like the basics of a Fey ritual in the mortal plane. You need a good ring. They're making do in a pinch with a bunch of Feywild flowers instead of mushrooms. You need it at a liminal time. So dusk or dawn are the 2 best times probably. Got to go counterclockwise a couple times, chant some stuff in Sylvan, and make an offering and sacrifice. Obviously, they're already mortals, and little do they know the biggest offering they're giving is themselves. But they don't have to worry about that yet. But yeah, so Lark's gonna go through that and be like, yes, this should do. I mean, I guess we're spending a day with the cultists.
Right.
This is the beach episode where Lark just hangs out with a bunch of disfigured cultists. And he's like, we're going to teach you all how to worship the Fae. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then at the
if
very
anybody
end,
else has anything they want to role play during this point in time, I invite you to do such things.
Well, we're probably just like, we pulled the cart far away or something. We're just chilling in there waiting for Lark to come back.
All right.
I'm really liking being a stag.
Just galloping around in the
Rerek
woods.
just recasts polymorph on himself to stay as one. God, we've awoken things in the scaly. He wants to be a furry now.
Oh God.
Next campaign, centaur with stag parts.
Oh my God, that's one of my latest art pieces I'm working on. He has like, his name is actually Oberon.
Hell yeah. So yeah, unless you want me to RP anything else out, like we're just gonna do like the mishmash of things that Lark did to get the Queen's attention, plus like just I guess try to tune the radio, as it were, less on her and more on Oberon, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So do you actually stay with them until dusk to perform the ritual?
I feel like my presence might help more than it would hinder, because it'll at least get the connection to the Feywild going. Because I'm actually a fairy from the Feywild. And Oberon will be at the Waltz of Shadows too.
Right.
He moves between 2 courts, which means that like his wife's too boring that he has to keep coming around my queen. I'm kidding.
All right. So we're just gonna do this real quick. I'll roll a persuasion check. Lark, you roll a persuasion check. And the other two of you, if you could roll just a d20 twice and tell me what you get both times. We're gonna do a big ol' skill check.
Can I would
Okay.
Eagle's Splendor still be on this or no?
I think it only lasts an hour.
Probably not. Yeah.
Okay. Please be good. I only got a 14.
Well, the leader got a 10.
So me and Nino are rolling twice. Do we
Yep.
add anything to it?
No.
Cool. I got a 3 and an 11.
Oof.
You're muted.
I wasn't paying
Muted.
attention.
Roll a d20 twice and tell me what numbers pop up.
8. 6.
My God.
What is happening?
So basically, those were all the persuasion checks required to kind of get Oberon's attention and to have him look favorably upon the cultists.
I have +1s on those.
Well, it's their persuasion checks, so they get +0 because they have literally 0 charisma, which is shocking. But anyway, so yeah, they all seem to try and do some kind of their own spin on the ritual, but they're really confused about the whole thing. They're sure, but they're not quite sure about how to go about it because they're such different entities. And you just, after the ritual is finished, there's just silence.
Can I piggyback this ritual real quick?
Okay.
And give him to Granther?
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm just gonna like shout into the flowers in Sylvan and be like, Granther, there's some mortals here that need a Fey master, and they're real ugly, and they're funny. Do you need anybody to help you, like, cart corpses at some point, or, I don't know, start a garden on this side? Please. They're all so pathetic, and you could use some help. You're getting old.
All right, you little shit. You don't have to call me old. But yeah, I could use some help.
Okay. I mean, druidcraft to make the flowers bigger, and then just be like, one of you needs to die real quick.
I just
they all
hit
kind of just
Alex really hard in the head.
What?
They all just kind of look around, kind of a little bit strangely of like, what? And then one of them just goes, you, Steve, and just stabs.
Oh God.
Just stabs him repeatedly as he just falls to the ground. And at that point, as he's screaming and the others are just confused, Steve's head explodes, and out from the neck stump comes a long worm with a lamprey mouth that shrieks before the cultist cuts the worm in half and turns around covered in blood. Did it work?
Is that okay, Granther?
Yeah. And then the flowers all sprout vines that begin to wrap around them and begin to drag them. The flowers grow really big to the point where their centers become holes in the center of the flower that the vines pull them into as they just scream, scrabbling at the bricks before they all just get pulled in. And then the flowers curl up and wither, and the entire complex is silent.
You can come out, guys. They're gone. I don't know if you watched that. It was fine. So turns out Lord Oberon was busy. They're at Granther's place now.
You all
if
do
they
see
really
this
are-
corpse on the ground with a worm sticking out of the neck stump that's been cut in half, and this horrible lamprey mouth that is still like undulating, trying to like bite onto something, but it's just dying.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast it and be like, you're being rude.
The head just goes flying off into the bushes.
Not really. If I had known that they were worms inside before, I would have just sent them to Granther in the first place. A good worm in the garden's a good worm in the garden, you know?
I don't know what that means. Okay, well,
And the one killed his friend very, very quickly. Like, there was no
Yeah.
hesitation. Steve here just was, well, Steve, you served the rest of your community well. Do you think they were frog people before they were worm people? Or were they worm people first?
yeah, that is a good question. Were there frogs in their heads before? The world
I
may
don't
never
Questions
know.
are these?
I've never seen an entire body be consumed by a bitter heart in that particular direction before. But fey magic, unpredictable. I wonder if I could do that one day. Oh, wouldn't it be beautiful, everyone, if I could just drag people to the Fey wild at my own whim? It'd save me so much time.
Oh, this took the better part of an afternoon, but I guess we're done.
It is
Yay.
definitely
Okay.
dusk. It is literally dusk. Since you had to perform the ritual at that time, it is literally sunset. You are going to have to camp in the woods again.
Why don't we camp here? They have these houses, they're all gone. Arthur, are there any abominations, aberrations left?
And he kind of looks around. Huh. No.
I suppose it was the cultists that were infested with worms. Oh well, Granther's got a hold of them now.
I don't really want to sleep in worm person bed.
Ugh. We can move the corpse off the altar. It's a big flat stone area.
Yeah, okay.
Unceremoniously dumps corpse.
And look, this one we can eat. You haven't had deer in a while, right? Lark just holds up the unsuccessful sacrifice to Oberon with, or he doesn't hold it up, but with Mage Hand he picks up the head.
I hear that, and then I transform immediately back.
How many
to her.
polymorphs do you have?
It's I think I can do
As many as you have 4th and 5th level spell slots.
no, I just transformed back. I just didn't.
Ah,
How long was I?
It only lasts an hour.
Yeah, so you would have to like selectively decide which hours you wanted to be a stag if you wanted to be a stag at the last part.
Okay, how long are we doing this shit?
It took an afternoon to night.
Yeah.
For like 5 hours.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
Lark to train a bunch of idiots and how to, and they didn't even do it right. So he had to be like, hey,
Okay,
Grandpa,
that took all my slots.
hey, Grandpa, you're technically an Archfey. Do you want these pathetic meat sacks? And he did. It was good.
all right, let's just sleep.
All right. So you all bed down for a long rest. After the other night where it passed by entirely uneventfully, surprisingly, for the first time in quite some time, there are a few visitations. The dream returns, Percy. You are in the river of blood with the bone white trees, the moon in the background covered in eyes and mouths. And on the pedestal in front of you, standing, is the 3 chains of Therisdun staring at you once again.
Yeah, I guess I'll keep screaming at them. Like, what do you want? Like,
You won't succeed. You may have destroyed our phylacteries, but you won't be able to kill us. You won't be able to get to us.
yeah, I'm probably just like drowning. Like,
Yeah, it's a weird kind of, it's just high enough that if you weren't standing on your tiptoes, that you'd probably just completely get pulled under. So you're trying desperately to stay afloat, but it's kind of hard because it's a very, very viscous liquid, blood. And yeah, they're not making any moves towards you, but they certainly aren't helping you in any way.
yeah.
As they just, you've made it this far. Quit while you're ahead.
Why would you want this? Why would you want to destroy the world?
To remake it. To make it better.
I have to stop you. I'm going to.
You won't.
I guess we'll have to wait and
As
see.
you might. Perhaps. But see how your body is already rotting under the power of Therisdun. Do you not feel it?
We'll finish this before it ever gets too far.
Don't be too sure.
I think Percy's just kind of scared and kind of just sit there.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, the vision does end. And you wake up. It doesn't interrupt your long rest. But you wake up and you definitely feel the scar in your side. It hurts.
Yeah.
You put your hand on it, and once again, it is wet.
Yeah. I'll probably start dressing the wound again.
Lark. Interestingly, you don't really have a lot of dreams that could be viewed as prophetic in some way, or any kind of visions. But this time, you do. You are in a cage, a large bird cage, hanging in what appears to be a very dark garden somewhere. You don't quite recognize it.
What?
You grab the bars, and you hear coming out of your mouth an unearthly shriek. And you realize you are not yourself. In fact, you can't even control the body that you are in. You see around you There are dark black roses, but this isn't the Shadowfell. It doesn't feel like the Shadowfell. And you hear a familiar voice. Although you are sure that the body that you are inhabiting doesn't recognize it, you do. A gentle voice. Well, well. It's nice to get to know the whole family. You'll be quite the bargaining chip. And you wake up. Rerek, you, as you sleep, suddenly find yourself at a very familiar table, covered in fruits and vegetables and leafy greens and grains and jams and jellies and other such things in a very familiar room. The light pours in through various archways as lattice shutters have been opened ever so slightly, causing the white gauzy curtains to flap in the breeze. It's the part of the palace that you lived in for quite some time before going to the magical university and before coming to Gothia. And sitting at the other end of the table, although the table is significantly shorter than you remember it being, is your uncle, Jabari, the golden dragonborn that serves as the royal seer. And he's sitting there peeling an apple with a knife, and he looks up and goes, "Great, the spell worked. Sorry to have to do this, but I had to. I am afraid that something is going to happen."
What is it?
It seems that when I said that Fatima Al-Hazred has been too quiet, she wasn't being quiet, she just wasn't there.
Okay.
It seems that she's up and left, and we currently don't know where. She's managed to protect herself from scrying spells, clairvoyance, any kind of divination magic. We don't know where she is.
Should I expect her then?
I would say yes. Keep an eye out. Her minions or whatever she has could be around any corner. At this point, I think she is done with trying to do this above the law, and I do not know what she has at her disposal.
Okay, sounds good. I am not scared of her, but I will be ready.
It might be a bit of an oversight to not be afraid. We don't know what she is capable of. She's clearly a powerful divination wizard, but I
Uncle,
honestly
I'm
am
15. I am big now.
I get it, I know.
I got here by myself, but now I have people. I'm part of a party that would help me.
I certainly hope that it's enough. I don't know what she's planning. If she's not going after me, the only other person would be you. You're the only one that's technically next in line.
Okay. I'm not exactly sure what I can do to prevent her from coming to me, but like I said, I will be ready.
It's better to know than to be surprised.
Thank you.
Yes. Before I let you go, I would like to say that Ahmad is doing well, and he does miss you.
Is that my dad?
No, that is the one of the princes.
Oh. Okay.
Yes. You know him quite well. But yeah.
You know him quite well, Rerek.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that you have to come home now, and I'm just saying that he does miss you a lot.
Okay. I'm like, I have a hard time showing how I feel. So
Kind of, well,
I
get
just
some
say
rest.
thank you.
Of course, get some rest. Make sure that you are ready for whatever it is that she is going to throw at you whenever she does.
Yes, sir.
And he nods and he puts down the bread and the knife that he's kind of just been idly buttering. And your dreams drift off into whatever dreams you may have before you wake up at the
Like
end of your long rest.
Before his message ends, and then it was like starting to fade away. I was like, oh, I want some of those. How can you send me some of those?
You're not sure if he heard you, but it does fade. And you go back to dreaming whatever dreams it is that Rerek dreams at night. And that is where we're going to end this super long episode of Scion of the Dark House. So make sure you join us next week where we figure out what exactly is going on. It seems a lot of different threads are all coming together in very strange and unexpected ways. So we will see you all next week.